Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with the legend, Yves Edwards.
What's up?
What's going on? We also have CB Gold.
What's going on,
The
guys?
Comedy Encyclopedia. As well as my man, Joe the Kid Perez.
What's up?
You're the Comedy Encyclopedia? Not Comedy, the MMA Encyclopedia.
Yeah. Shit, I don't know comedy.
Yeah, right, exactly. I want to thank our sponsor, Blue Apron. Blue Apron, we will tell you about how great Blue Apron is in a little bit. But as far as Blue Apron, you can check out this week's menu and get the first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/MMA roast. You will love how good it feels, how good it tastes, and you will create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. Don't wait. That's blueapron.com/MMA roast. As well as we are on Tip a Fighter. So if you like our podcast and you want us to do more podcasts, we are on Tip a Fighter. I got good news, guys, for the podcast. We're going to be moving very soon, and we're going to be going video. We got a new studio where you can actually see how good-looking CB Gold is.
The CB cam.
Yes, you will have the CB cam.
Do not use 1080p. You will be highly disappointed.
You could see CB in high definition and all his tattoos. By the way, tonight I am in Merced at the 510 Bistro. Next week I'm in Calgary. Next Tuesday to Sunday at the Comedy Cave in Calgary, followed by the San Diego Comedy Palace Friday the 24th and 25th. And then followed by the Myrtle Beach Comedy Club, April 5th to the 9th, as well as Stanford & Sons, April 13th to the 15th in Kansas City, Missouri. So that's the same week that the UFC is going to be there.
Is that a coincidence?
No, I hooked it up. And then also, me and Dean Thomas, we're going to be in Dallas at a strip club doing a show the night before the UFC 211 in Dallas.
Wow.
I will let you guys know more information once that deal is finally closed.
Wait, you guys are doing a show in a strip club?
Yeah, there's a comedy show at a strip club.
Y'all twerking and shit?
Yes. No, we're not going to be twerking.
He said yes.
This might need a road trip. This might require a road trip.
And the strippers in Dallas, I used to think that Vegas had the hottest strippers until I went to Miami. And then I'm like, I don't know, man. Miami has got some hot... You ever been to Tootsie's?
No.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! But I'm going to be married soon.
You
so
should take me.
I will. I'm actually not even having a bachelor party. My fiance's having a bachelorette party where she's going with her friends to Vegas. I'm like, I don't want a bachelor party.
Yeah, because you don't want one. I was gonna say your group of friends.
Yeah, first of all, I'll probably know the stripper. I probably have already at one point dated her or something, or the porn chick. And then also, every bachelor party I go to, it's like a bunch of dudes, and the girls get the guy naked, and then she's about to blow him or give him a hand job, and his friends like, don't do it. It's a fucking bad after school special, and people are drunk, and I don't even want to be involved in that. It's just not. And they're like, well, why don't you have a thing where it's just the guys watching fights? So I'm like, that sounds really gay.
That's not real. That doesn't end. It doesn't end the way it started.
Yeah, and plus, if I have Greg Wilson there, he will. By the way, me and Greg made up. We ended our little feud. It was very, very stupid. We had a little bit of an argument. But we made up. So me and Greg are friends again. He's actually working on his Byron Allen TV show, but he will be back on the podcast. So it was so dumb. It was like he didn't like where I put him at the dime bar, and then I only put him on last because I know how good he was, and then he got upset about this. It wasn't even last, and it just became a whole thing, and it's okay. Shit happens. But drama. It was like he said some things, I said some things, but it's over. Last week in Vegas, I'll tell you guys about Vegas. I had a crazy week in Vegas. So I headline the Stratosphere in Vegas Wednesday night. By the way, Dean went on, and Dean he's been writing every single day, and he murdered. Dean Thomas murdered on set. He's gotten so much better. So props to Dean. He did really, really well. So I go there, and it's packed show, and John Wood is there. I don't know if you know John Wood, the trainer. John Wood's there, and he used to date Jenna Jameson, but they were on a show called but Jenna Jameson
left him for Tito.
20 years after,
oh no,
kind of like being on
the other way around.
Kind of like being on the Lakers now, kind of thing. It was not the same Jenna Jameson as it wasn't prime Jenna.
Yeah.
He sort of dated. It was sort of watching. I don't know. Who's that guy in the? It's like the guy that was Mark Coleman and the other guy Kerr. It's like watching Mark Kerr fight now. I mean, it's still Mark Kerr, but it's still not the same as the Smashing Machine. Anyway, so he dated Jenna Jameson, and they're in the front row, and I was like, John Wood's here. I'm like, hey, he dated Jenna Jameson. Who's better at taking shots to the face? So Boom. So that was pretty cool. And then he was there with Khalil Roundtree. And I was making fun of Khalil because, like, there was my old friend Kaylani Lay, who's also an adult film star, was there. And I was like, Khalil, you know, she's got a much better ground game than you do. And I was making fun of his wrestling. I'm like, dude, Khalil's wrestling is so bad. Thanksgiving, he tried to stuff the turkey and I still got the takedown. So it was fun. It was a really, really fun show. And then what's the name? Tyron Woodley came to my show.
Nice.
He came on the Wednesday night, which I was a little nervous about. But I guess when you're cutting weight sometimes and you're
You need to
focused,
relax, man.
right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you could overthink shit.
Yeah, and there's only so much work you can do, and you have so many more hours in the day, you know.
Have you ever
have to do something.
overthought a fight? Like you spent too much time thinking about it?
Yeah, I had a lot of them.
Which one in particular?
Mark Hominick.
Hominick, yeah. What happened to Mark Hominick, man? That Aldo fight was like the best and worst thing for his career because he was like the first guy to really like beat up. Even though he lost that fifth round,
Yeah,
He almost
push
won.
him.
he almost
Yeah.
won.
Almost won.
Yeah.
And then that was sort of like sometimes I think I could almost say you end up but like you win by losing. Like that war takes so much out of you. It's like sort of like when guys fight Robbie Lawler. Like they're never the same. Sometimes they are, but usually they're not the same.
Yeah.
Plus the baseball that was sticking out of his head.
Oh,
at the
that
end
was
of
crazy.
fight.
That was crazy. That was when I used to love the WEC. I thought the WEC was actually a pretty cool product, and I enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed it. So
I think one of Mark's things, real quick, also was the death of Sean Tompkins.
That-
That affected a lot of people,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
the guys that trained with him. It was like it was more than a family, and he was the guy.
Right.
So-
Absolutely. So Thursday was the MMA awards. I'm excited. I did the 3 videos. One of them was a parody with Uriah Faber's butt chin to like The Weeknd. That murdered. Super happy about that. Then I had Stephen Bonner singing "Is It Too Late Now to Say Sorry? I didn't know what I put in my body." But he got really into it. He was like injecting himself with needles during the song and like drowning pills. First time in the history of sports where I think a fighter has made fun of himself or an athlete for taking steroids in a musical thing. But I think people weren't ready for it. I think it might have been too ahead of its time because I got a good response, but people were a
But it
little bit
wasn't
like,
overwhelming.
people were a little bit like, what the fuck is going on right
Yeah.
now? Which, you know, as
I think that's the best part of it, though, is the awkwardness of the comedy.
that's to me that's great, and people loved it online. Like I saw people online, they're like, "Holy shit, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen." I think when you're there, it was so much to take in.
And it's a room full of fighters.
I was going to say, how many in that room have tested positive and should be featured in that video?
It definitely got a big laugh. It got laughs, but it was like holy shit. Which, as an artist or as I liked myself as a parody fighting video artist,
Like Weird Adam.
you like to go for it, but at the same time, and then I had one as like Chael as the Verizon guy who switched to Sprint. Also did well.
That was my favorite.
I don't know why these aren't out yet because the award show's tomorrow, but that's beyond my control. I just have to like. Frustrating. So Tito Ortiz won. He won like fighter of the like he won some award
It was like a Lifetime
Achievement
Achievement
Award. And he goes up there and he starts off really sweet. Like this is about the fighters, and they said I couldn't do it. He's breaking a tear because he talked about his whole history. And then right when you were like, man, I really like Tito. This is my man. His last 20 seconds are like, and you know what? I am so proud right now that Donald Trump is our president. And then the last 20 seconds was about Trump. And then everybody was just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, it was like
That's awesome.
Hello? Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Is-
but and some people loved it. Other people were like, really, dude? Like, we get it. You were on The
not the
Apprentice.
venue to go to political.
Yeah. So then, so that was Thursday. Friday, I had tickets to go see Bobby Brown. I was so excited. I'm driving to Vegas. There's a Bobby Brown billboard, and I saw Bobby Brown like 5 years ago, and it was awesome. But he came out like 4 hours late. Like we were at the whiskey. Me and my girl at the time. My old ex-girlfriend and another couple, and he had like 7 opening acts. One was worse than the other. Like his nephew was on, his cousin, his like neighbor. So
Ricky and Bobby Brown.
yeah, but then he went on and murdered it, right? And then the Belle Biv DeVoe came out, and they did the song together. So Vegas is different though. So it's like around 7:20, and I'm telling my girl, I'm like, babe, I think we should get there by 8 because it's like. You know, and she's like, no, it's not going to start at 8. She has to get ready. I'm like, you're right. It was last time. It was 3 hours late. So we get there. We get there at 9:00, and I'm telling my girl, I'm like, I think we missed it. I don't have this feeling. You're paranoid. You don't know what you're talking about. How we? And she starts yelling at me, right? So we walk in, while he's on his closing song, my prerogative. We missed the whole fucking concert. $100 I spent on this fucking, and I was fucking fuming. I was so mad. I was mad because not only did I miss it, but she told me I was an idiot for saying we would get there on time. But it was my fault. Like, I should have called the venue.
Nah, that was her fault.
Come on.
Stop being.
Yeah.
No.
I was so pissed. I was really fuming. Plus,
That's one of those where you get to turn around and be like, I was right. See? And we missed it.
I did say that. I said, babe, look, when it comes to the internet and apps and fucking, Food Uber or whatever Postmates, she knows all this shit, and I'm a fucking idiot when it
I
comes.
should get you some butt sex.
I don't know any about this. Yeah, with Bobby Brown.
I was gonna say maybe a good BJ that night to make up for it.
When it comes to all that, I don't know shit. Like, she's so much better at like designing, not butt sex, but like fucking like designing apps and shit. I don't know. I know shit about butt sex. It's on my dick. But afterwards. But so when it comes to that, when it comes to old school fucking 90s R&B concert, or 80s, I know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, this isn't Sunset where you're like, okay, I'm going to a show of like whatever Aerosmith, but there's 900 openers and they're not seeing stage till 10 o'clock. This is Vegas.
Yeah,
like,
Vegas.
They want to get this shit done and go party.
Which is what I said. I told her, I think Vegas is weird. And she's like, no, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, that was that. And then, but luckily, she felt bad, so she got me tickets to this Friday, the I Love the 90s show, which is not the same.
It's not the same as butt sex.
I'd rather see us butt sex, yeah. It's I Love the 90s. Who is it? It's
Nirvana.
Nirvana. Yeah.
How is Nirvana going to play, Joe?
Yeah, they resurrected Cobain.
Really?
I thought it's like cover bands.
No, it's not cover bands. It's Salt and Pepper. They're playing.
I've seen them in concert.
How are they?
They were fun. I was a kid, though.
Okay. Sugar Ray is playing decent. Coolio. I could do without Coolio. Biz Marquee. I like Biz Marquee.
Is this at a retirement home?
It's at the downtown Microsoft Theater. CNC Music Factory.
Jesus Christ.
And Snap. I've got the power.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So they're all playing on. So I'm going to that Friday night.
What was the ticket, like 35 cents? Going back to when these guys started.
It doesn't matter. Your parents paid for it. It was 37.
No, they didn't.
It was $75 for both tickets.
Pretty cheap
that's
nowadays.
yeah,
it's
that's
good.
That's
But
not
we're
bad.
up there. We're up in the. But I don't think it's gonna sell out. We could probably move down.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you don't have the 14-year-olds you had behind you at, I think, what was it, Kanye?
Yeah, I
or
couldn't even
Lady
smoke
Gaga?
weed because fucking people behind me. I didn't want to which I did anyway, but I had to do it I'm like hiding my weed from a 14-year-old. So
She's like, I got better shit than you, motherfucker.
yeah, it was that. So then, right? So that was Friday night. Saturday we go to the fight, and Dana hooked it up. I had like third row seats. I had like I was on floor. So I go there, and it was one of the funniest things, man. So first, I'm sitting next to this football player who was like the backup center for the Broncos.
Mercedes Lewis.
No, not Mercedes Lewis. I was sitting next to him too, who's a super nice guy, Mercedes Lewis. But there was another guy, Sam. So this guy's I forgot the guy's name. So this guy's name is I got it. I'll find it on my.
So you're in between two massive football players.
3 actually. So first I'm
Just wait.
So this guy named So this guy was a super cool guy. He plays for the Broncos, the backup for the Broncos, backup center. His name is Sam Brenner. Right, he used to play for the Miami. So I'm sitting there, and he's the nice guy. He loves all the fighters, but he's getting drunk. You could tell him and his brother, who also played center in the NFL, like two brothers. He's a shorter, fatter version of him. So they like the fights. All of a sudden, it gets to the Overeem fight, right? It's Overeem versus Hunt, and this guy's wasted now, and he starts yelling, "Overeem, you steroid freak!" And he could hear him. He goes, "Dana, you fucked Mark Hunt, putting him with Overeem," just going crazy on fucking. I'm like, whoa! But I guess when you're a center, I mean, Overeem would still fucking annihilate this guy. Yeah. But whatever. So then, right? Then in the main event. It's Woodley versus Thompson, and it's kind of a boring fight.
Yep.
And then I hear from the back, "Fucking fight already! This fight sucks! Quit fucking running!" Right? This is bullshit. I look behind me. Nick Diaz is yelling this. Right? So it's fucking Nick Diaz is yelling this, and he's like, "What the fuck, man? This fight fucking sucks! Fucking do something!" Right? And normally when someone's yelling that, you look behind him like, "I'd like to see you do better." But I honestly, with Nick Diaz,
Not with that one.
yeah.
Hey, would you mind? Nothing.
Right.
Would you mind going in there and showing them how it's done?
Yeah.
So then I asked Nate, right? I feel like I was on a podcast because I'm like, Nate, have you ever had a fight where you couldn't get going? He's like, yeah, in fucking 9th grade. He's like, this guy, it was in the back of the school. He hit me twice. I hit him twice. It got broken up. And I couldn't get going, man. And people, they made fun of me all through high school. But he was like I couldn't tell if he was joking.
He's serious.
Like, this was a fight to him. This was like, sometimes I don't even know if the brothers even know they're fighting in an octagon or it's just a fight.
They don't care, man.
So it was super nice. And then I was like, I told my girl, I'm like, hey, this is Nate. Nate's like, hey, sorry for cursing around you, man, about being an idiot. Like, they are the nicest people.
They've
But
changed a lot.
what a bunch of characters those guys are.
That fight was so bad, Nick just tested positive against steroids for 3 years.
Fucking Nate was saying, he's like, oh, why don't you tweet some shit? My fucking phone died, so I couldn't even tweet about how bad the fights were. Plus, Dana gave me the tickets, so I was in a kind of a situation where, like, if he's in a bad mood and sees this, this is the fucking guy I gave tickets to
He said the fight sucked too, though.
Oh, yeah, it did suck.
He was pissed. Did you see Nate's video about the Khabib fans outside the arena?
Yeah, when he started, that was
That
pretty
shit was
cool.
funny.
But so then while we're there, my girl's like on her phone, like picking out dresses, like missing some of the knockouts, like looking at dresses and shoes. I'm like, babe, do you want to be here? She's like, yeah, I like it. I'm like, if you want, I could take someone else. No, you better not, right? So then on the way back, she's like, we're doing marriage couples therapy. She's like, and we got a 4-hour drive back to Vegas that night. And she's like, because she has to be somewhere Sunday. And she's like, hey, honey, is it cool if we listen to our book on tape about couples therapy? I'm like, this is not what I want to fucking think about, is her pastor's book on tape, like, while we're fucking driving. But I'm like, yeah, okay, just don't mention it. I just want to watch fights right now.
No, I want to listen to Bobby Brown.
Yeah,
I would have told her.
Yeah,
It'd
exactly.
be like half the drive is the marriage counseling, the other half of the drive is CB's MMA show.
Oh God.
She would never make you listen to that shit again.
I should have, and she probably would never marry me either. But yeah, so that was that. But yeah, so that was cool, and that was my week, and then I had shows at the Dime Bar. It was super fun. There was this hot girl from Africa at my show, like a model from Africa.
Did you tell me Nigeria?
Nigeria, and she was like a little too cool for school, and I was like, I think I used to sponsor you, and then the whole fucking place went ballistic, and then she's like, you're so funny, and it was cool. So how are you doing, Eve? What's going on with you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm just chilling, just getting ready for the fights tomorrow. Not tomorrow, this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm calling the Gastelum Vitor stuff from the desk.
Nice.
Here at Fox, and that's really it, man. Just getting ready to fucking take over the world.
You better take over the world, man. I mean, who has the experience you have?
Jeremy Horn.
Aside from Jeremy Horn. And CB, what's new with you?
Nothing.
All right, Joe the Kid Perez, are you still abstinent?
I'm still abstinent, everybody, but I got good news.
What's that?
I stopped Tinder, I stopped OkCupid, I stopped Bumble because
Yeah.
I told you guys I want to find a girl in the real life. 'Cause
And
it's
I-
always so awkward. But I just started my new semester.
Yep.
I got me a little girl.
You
And-
got a girl.
I mean, I got a girl. She's a little girl, but it's all right.
Was she
'cause-
legal? What do you mean by a little
Yeah, I mean,
girl?
she's
She had a
little.
baby.
She's little.
A little person.
No, not a little person, but she's like
She's short.
petite. She's a petite
Have
woman.
you guys went on like a date yet, or?
No, we're going tomorrow on a date.
She's not really a girl if you haven't went on a date with her.
No, but I like her. Is what I'm
Okay,
saying.
you like
so I'm
her.
gonna try to sneak up on her and work my
Scare
moves.
her?
No, not scared.
What is he talking about?
know,
We
it's
need
like-
a
what do
new
you
app.
sound creepy.
What are you, a
as shit.
ghost? I don't understand what you're
It's like a metaphor for like work my magic.
It's not a metaphor for working your magic,
That's-
sneaking up
you guys-
on girls.
you guys know what I'm
Stalker
saying,
talk.
though.
I think they came out with a new app for your love life. It's called Fumble.
Oh, that's hilarious. I like that. That's pretty good.
God damn it, CB, you're getting better.
1 out of 20. So that's not bad.
And we're going to play pool after this podcast. So it's gonna be cool.
Nice. All right, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
By pool, he means he's going to drown her.
Good for you,
God
man.
damn it.
Good for you.
Yeah, I came with the A game today. I've been dropping mostly C's, but I've got like 1 or 2 A's.
And that was a C. All right. So, but good for you, man. I'm happy that you have a girl. By the way,
Thank you very
You have a
much.
girl that you like.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
It's not a sexual thing either.
For this week.
Yes.
We just restarted the Even Steven podcast.
Nice.
So we've been having a good time with that. We're doing video on that too. Our video screwed up yesterday, so the last episode won't be on video, but there's one up on video and the rest are on iTunes. So it's
I love
Even
it.
Steven, YVESN STEPHEN. Not
Okay.
with a V, but check it out. Let me know if you guys listen to MMA Roasted. Check it out. Let me know what you think if you like it, and Yeah.
Can you think of like a more harder name to spell, Eve and Steven? Like it's Eve with a Y. It's you don't know if it's and or like N, and now Steven with a PH. Like you have to really be a fan.
Stacking the odds, man.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but once they get a hold of it, they won't let it go. You know?
That's like
good.
the Holy Grail.
That's good. That's good. By the way, I want to talk about some of the fights that happened.
Hold on. I gotta hide. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's nice.
You've been with me all day, dog.
I want to talk about some of the fights, by the way. So, Darren Elkins, man. Let's start with him.
Holy
Damn.
fuck.
Now, Darren Elkins fucked up like an 8-fight parlay for me when I bet against him with Chaz Skelly. I bet on Chaz Skelly over Darren Elkins based on how good Chaz looked. And that was the last time I ever bet against Darren Elkins. And it's funny because I'm sitting there with that fight with that football player, and Elkins is fighting, and he's fighting a really good guy. That dude,
Mirsad a lot.
Mirsad is no joke.
Mirsad was undefeated.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
I think he lost one fight.
No, I think he was undefeated.
He was undefeated?
I think he was like 9-0.
Wow. Okay. All right. So Mirsad Bektik, I mean, a good, solid fighter, and that fight could have been stopped in the first round. I thought I was there live, and maybe it didn't look as bad on TV, but it was like, whoa. But I told the guy next to me, I go, just don't count this dude out. He's a tough. I remember he was the first guy to beat Diego Brandao, and that was when I said, okay, this Elkins is something special, because coming off The Ultimate Fighter, everybody was scared of Diego Brandao. He had that thing about him, that it factor, that this guy's fucking crazy, he's tough, he's this, he's that, and Elkins didn't give a shit. He's this farm boy. I think his record in high school was like 182 or something. And this dude came back. It was crazy. I give props. I mean, it almost makes up for his awful fucking tattoo that he got on his chest. But
It's fucking horrible.
Horrible.
It's horrible.
And if CB Gold is saying you have horrible tattoos, I mean, this guy has.
It's fucking bad, dude.
That's like Magana calling you a whore. It's just
you walking into a tat shop going, "This is what I want."
Yeah.
Fuck,
well, and you're a guy that got the Joker ha 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 on half your body. Yeah. Okay. So that's my point. Okay. So, but this dude Elkins is a fucking beast, and I don't know if he'll ever be the champion because he does lose a lot of rounds, and it seems like guys who are really good at coming back, i.e. like the Matt Browns of the world, or certain guys, even like Cerrone, or guys that take a lot of damage to come back. Sometimes it's like they're always really fun to watch. They'll always have a home in the UFC. However, you just
There's
can't.
a ceiling.
There's a ceiling, right?
Yeah.
Versus the guy who's very slick, or like a guy who just seems to be perfect, or not perfect.
Not
but
even perfect. Just, you get the guys with power, you get the finesse guys, but then you get these guys that are just when toughness is your main attribute. There's, you're going to run into a guy that either has too much finesse for you or has too much power, and you just can't tough it out.
Now, how do you train for a guy as tough as Darren Elkins?
You don't train with goal lines. You don't plan to finish the fight. You just try to beat him up for as long as you can, and try to not. The biggest thing is not getting tired. Because a guy like that, a guy that's tough, like a Matt Brown, who doesn't get tired, when you start to fade, that's their chance. That's their opening. And then everything that they weren't able to do, they start having success with that. You just have to be.
So Mirsad made the mistake of trying to finish the fight?
Yeah, I think so. Looking for goal lines, If I do this, it's going to be over. If I do this, it's going to be over. And then when you get to that point and that guy is still standing in front of you, it's like, shit, what could I possibly do when it comes to that,
Now, do you think that's part of his corner's fault? Or, do you think they should have told him, hey, man, you're up 2-0. Don't do anything stupid, because he didn't really do anything stupid. He didn't throw a crazy flying back fist or whatever the fuck. These other. It wasn't like he went for some kind of.
Right.
He didn't pull guard. But he just kind of went for a wrestling position in some ways and lost the position.
Yeah, but that's Mirsad, man. He's trying to beat you up all the time.
He's still at ATT.
Yeah, he's still at ATT. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a bully, but in that sense, he is, where he's going to push and he's going to push and he's going to try to finish. Doesn't matter if it's 4 minutes and 50 seconds into the third round, But then with a guy like Darren Elkins, you start to fade a little bit, and that just starts to rise his confidence and make him stronger.
By the way, I've never seen in person somebody get head kicked. I think he got head kicked, and he get up and not know where he was. And go look at the ref. Go, why did he stop the fight? And seeing it in person is fucking scary, because it's just different than seeing it on TV. I see blood on. I've never seen a guy not know where he was in person. It was like, and I felt for him because, a fight like that, you can't get it back. It's almost like if I was to lose a fight, you never want to lose a fight, but those are hard fights to lose because they're so winnable. Like he was right there. It wasn't like he got outclassed or out-dominated. I would say maybe he got out-toughed, but maybe it wasn't like he folded. No. It was just this dude.
He just got hit that right hook.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah, it's one of those, man. He won't remember it until he sees it on tape, too. It's weird because he doesn't remember getting punched. I think the kick hit him in the shoulder, but he was out from that right hook, and he won't remember that until he sees it on tape. And when he sees it on tape, then it'll I don't know. It sucks because he was dominating that fight up until that point.
Another guy.
That's what he's gonna remember.
Another fight that I loved, which shows you how important like jiu-jitsu is, was the Yuri Alcantara fight. Who did he fight? The guy from
Luke Sanders.
Luke Sanders. Now, what's Luke Sanders' backstory?
I think it was his UFC debut. The one big thing that they kept pumping on the show was his girlfriend is Becky Lynch, who's a WWE female wrestler, very famous right now. Big.
They said it during the broadcast?
Yeah, she was there.
Oh.
They kept panning over to her, and Becky Lynch is in the audience, and she's a WWE diva, and that's her boyfriend. And
it's weird the WME thing because it used to be like. You look in the crowd, like you're sitting next to Chuck Zito, or you're sitting next to just hardcore fans.
Or like Cody or Uriah or whoever.
No, they were there. But
no, I'm saying, but they don't.
But now you look over, and you look over in the crowd, and it's like YouTube stars. There were a lot of YouTube stars in the crowd. Which, by the way, what are you showing me right now? It's Edgar versus Yair. Okay, so just announced Frankie Edgar versus Yair Rodriguez.
He just beat me to the punch.
I win.
He did. So you beat him in the comedy department today, and he's beating you in the fucking MMA nerd department.
Brett Okamoto was talking about they were waiting to release a huge fight for 211.
Good for him. Maybe we'll call him today, and we won't even tell him that we're calling him. We'll actually call Frankie. By the way, that's a good fight. I think Frankie's got that fight against Yair.
Yeah, same here, man.
I think he does, yeah.
I don't think Yair will be able to deal with his wrestling.
That's a big step up. I mean, BJ's a legend, and that was the biggest name he fought, but that's fucking Frankie Edgar, man.
The only thing is, when I saw Yair versus Touchy Feely, like you're like, I was there for that fight, and that guy, he's so unorthodox. So it's a question of, like, he's got really good coaching, that New Jersey team that he's at. I think he's got Henzo as his coach for jiu-jitsu, and Mark Henry as his boxing coach. Really good people.
He uses more Ricardo Almeida for jiu-jitsu.
And Almeida, okay.
Yeah.
But who will he bring in to emulate Yair? Because it's tough to find guys like that.
Sage Northcutt.
I mean, maybe he might bring in, but who's he going to bring in?
There's nobody. There's
always, come on, there's somebody.
No, honestly, like the same way that, like bringing in Sage for Wonderboy for Woodley, it's really hard style to emulate. And Yair, the thing is, he has great kicks, but the weird thing about him is you never know when they're coming. You never know. It's tough. I feel bad for Ricardo Lamas though, because he was petitioning for the Edgar fight and they had both agreed, but this is a huge addition to a card that's already.
I think what
stellar.
they're trying to do is build up this kid, this Mexican dude in the Mexican market, because that
Dallas isn't in Mexico.
I know, but I'm saying like they brought in him versus BJ Penn, and now they're like, okay, maybe they're thinking Frankie's a little bit on his way out.
Yeah, I don't know, but you can't ever count Frankie Edgar out though.
Yeah,
and Frankie's style, man. He kicks hard and he's dynamic, but I just don't see it. If he takes Frankie out, I will. I don't know. I fucking sign some shit.
You got a Yair tattoo on your?
No.
But the thing about Frankie O that's also smart about him is that he was hurt in the Jeremy Stevens fight. He was really rocked. Yeah. And he didn't. A lot of fighters, man, they're fighting in their hometown. They let the pride get to them. They want to be flashy. They want to go toe to toe. They get into a war. They lose the war. Frankie's like, fuck this. Stick to the takedowns. Win the battle, win the war, maybe lose the battle. And that's a smart fighter right there. Yeah. So, he didn't necessarily do that against Gray Maynard, but maybe age is kind of wisdom.
And then the wrestling level being comparable too.
Yeah, but the only thing is that the problem is that, Yair might be able to bring in somebody who can emulate what Frankie's going to do versus what is he going to do. But I still think that Frankie's, he's a guy that can, compete.
Yeah.
He's a bigger guy.
There's one thing about that, bringing in somebody to emulate somebody else. I mean, even if you can get somebody that is as close to being that guy as possible, is still not that guy. You still have to make those adjustments during the fight. And Frankie is that guy. He can make adjustments. You know, that's the guy that wins fights.
Absolutely. Now the Mark Hunt fight, that was a fight. That knee from hell. I got to feel for Mark Hunt because he sues the UFC because I don't know every detail of the lawsuit, but essentially they let Brock Lesnar fight knowing he was on steroids. And then the UFC goes, okay, no problem. Here's Overeem, a guy who's been busted numerous fucking times. Now, granted, dad bod Overeem doesn't look the same as steroid Overeem.
As vitamin S Overeem.
But still, man, when I saw Mark Hunt get rocked with that, man, that was fucking crazy. That was because I go to my girl. I'm like, did you see that? She goes, I heard it. You heard it. That's how fucking loud it was.
Yeah, he clicked the shit out of him.
Oh my god. And props to Overeem. I mean, he's still around, but I still, you could tell the fans and everybody wanted Mark Hunt to win that fight.
Yeah, for sure, man. Everybody's a fan of Mark Hunt, and then especially when the guy speaks out for himself, stands up for himself, and he's not going to back down from anybody, you know?
Yeah.
You got to respect that.
You think he's out now? Because they're like, I want to sue the UFC. You think they get rid of him, or he says, fuck it, I'm done?
It's one of those weird things now, especially with the new ownership. It's like, it's almost obvious.
Yeah.
And then because it's so obvious, do you really do that now?
But he's also a big star in Australia, overseas. A lot of those guys from Canada, a lot of the guys from England, a lot of guys from Australia. It seems like if they were American, they probably would have been cut a lot earlier than some of these other guys. But because they have a huge fan base, and hey, it is what it is. I'm not crying for the people in America, but
right.
like Dan Hardy went on like a 5-fight losing streak or 4 or 5 fight, and like if that happened, they wouldn't have kept him. But England, they want the market.
Yeah.
Some of these other guys in Canada, they seem to lose some of these guys, but they keep them around.
But and they have some charisma. I mean, Andre Winner lost 2, and then he was cut.
Okay.
But yeah, the Dan Hardy story, it does matter. I mean,
Koscheck got 5.
Well, no.
Koscheck got 5. And then
okay.
caught him.
Yeah, but he was also on that first.
He was in the
Ultimate
beloved
Fighter.
first.
I heard with the Hardy. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that like the Fertittas bought they own Zions and they owned all these like Zions things, and they put Hardy on the cover of them.
Yeah,
so they had
he
like
was.
millions and millions of them, and they didn't want to cut them because they wanted to sell their drink.
He had T-shirts. He had Zions energy bottles that he was on the front, and a bunch of stuff like that. But like at the same time, you look at the way Mark Hunt was treated and how he feels, and then you look at his payday. His payday was $750,000, but there was no win bonus even if he won. So it was $750 flat. That was it. I don't know what he got paid. I don't remember what he got paid for the Brock fight.
Right.
I know he wasn't happy.
So you're saying,
but is that like them saying, we'll pay you this high number, but if you win, we ain't giving you any more, and if you lose, maybe you're on the way out. But
I think it's better for him. It's probably less pressure. I mean, I'd rather have that than 370. Yeah. By the way, yeah, you're right. That was that. So let's talk about the main event. What happened? I thought it was a draw again. I mean, maybe. I mean, the first 2 rounds I would give to Wonder Boy, but I asked Nick and Nate. I'm like, who do you think won the first round? He goes, well, the fans lost, and I think that maybe you can give that fight to Wonder Boy if you gave him the first 3 and tiring the last 2. Then there's the whole adage of you got to beat the champ to beat the champ. But the only problem is that in boxing they use that. They don't do that in the UFC, so you can't all of a sudden start that now.
But to beat the champ, you win more rounds than the champ. That's how you beat the champ. You don't have to take the champ out, or you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that scenario. I never like that's like don't leave it in the hands of the judges. Shut up with this bullshit.
Well, that's kind of like one of the things that I've said before, and people don't like the phrasing, but I call it the invisible point theory. If you're against a champ and you go to a decision and it's a 3-2, unless it's a super dominant 3-2 or has to be a 4-1-5 nothing, they're usually going to give it to the champ.
Is this your theory that you came up with?
This is something I've just been paying attention to for years.
But you came up with the invisible point theory? This is actually your theory?
I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily my theory, but it's something that, they even talked about back when Frankie fought BJ or Frankie fought Benson and stuff like that. Like, if you beat the champ 3-2, but the judges are like, it's more than likely going to side
and that's
with
the thing.
with
It's
the champ.
even it was one of those fights where, obviously Tyron won the fourth, I thought, with the takedown. And
Third and the fifth.
And he definitely, the takedown was the fourth, I believe.
Oh, what?
Which one did he rock?
And then
him?
in the fifth, he rocked him. So he definitely won those two. And the other ones, I don't know who won. I have to watch it again, but it wasn't like anybody really won those rounds. It was weird because Tyron Woodley is a very frustrating fighter because you see the potential and you see how good he can be. I don't know if it's he doesn't trust himself. I mean, he was sweating so much. Like before the round even started, he was dripping. I don't know if it's anxiety. I don't know if he gave him too much respect. I don't know really what happened. At the same time, he won the fight. So he did something right. Yves, your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, he was sweating because he was fighting. Like in between rounds, you're not going to cool down. You're still sweating by the time you walk backstage. But there was too much, for my liking, there's too much tentativeness, especially for what Tyron can do, what he's capable of. You know, you see, I've trained with the guy. He's a friend of mine. I've seen a lot of his fights. I watch him train, and you see all his videos of him training. But for him to go out there and to be a carpenter and only pull out the hammer, you know what I mean? He wants to use the hammer all the time. If you watch the fight, the only thing he's throwing is that right hand. And if everybody knows that right hand is coming, it's easy to avoid the one thing. He's got to use his other tools, and he has the other tools, but he's just so confident in that right hand, he does nothing about it.
But you think that was a strategy, or you think
I don't think it was a strategy. I think it was nerves getting to him and being in that position and wanting to take him out. You know, you watch the fight and you watch him back up, and it's like I hate that he backs up so much. He puts his back on the fence. And but then it's like, okay, well, maybe he does that because he's so explosive. He wants to have all that cage behind him for when he shoots these takedowns. Well, shoot a takedown then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Set up that right hand. You know you have a really good right hand, but if everybody else knows that, you gotta trick somebody into letting you hit them. They're not gonna let you hit them, especially if they know it's coming.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I know Tyron was upset with the UFC for not really promoting him and not giving him that. But then you do that, and then you're just giving them the fodder of like, look, everybody was booing. Why do you want us to promote? And look, I'm a Tyron Woodley fan. I said this before. I think he's a guy. I think one of the reasons that people don't like him is this. It's something wrong with fucking society where you take a guy who's obviously got a lot of knockouts. I mean, knocked out Robbie Lawler. The guy's got 4 kids. He's a good father. He's a good husband. He's in movies. He's in TV shows. He's a credit to his community. He goes in with the Ferguson. All the right things they should be promoting, but they don't. And then other people, the Northcutt, they give top billing to, which is, I think, is bullshit. I'm sorry, it's bullshit. Yeah. But it's the same reason. I mean, you look at like the Cash Me Outside girl. This girl goes on Dr. Phil, says, I fucking steal cars, I get into fights, I beat up, I try to fight my mom.
You ain't shit before me.
You're 14 years old, and next thing you know, she's got a reality show, she's on fucking 12 music videos. Like, there's a billion girls in this fucking world who are like, straight A students and athletes who should give them a fucking reality show. Don't give this fucking asshole a fucking reality
Drama
show.
sells,
There's a 13-year-old kid. He's already has 3 college degrees. Has been accepted to 2 universities and plans on becoming an engineer, a doctor, and a medical researcher before he turns 18. Nobody knows who that kid is.
Yeah, no one knows. But the Catch Me Outside girl, everybody knows who it is.
She's got like 7 million followers.
And now, does she have 7 million followers?
Something like that.
And now what you're doing is you're opening up a whole fucking like door full of dumb, asshole kids that want to like go on reality shows and be assholes so that they get their own show.
And then you wonder why Donald Trump is president.
Yeah,
right?
it's fucking bullshit.
Or you wonder why more people know John Jones than Daniel Cormier and who's got the belt.
Right, exactly. Well, but at least John Jones has talent.
Yeah,
okay?
but Daniel's been talking about it like, they don't promote me, you guys boo me. I've been sober my whole life. This guy goes out, does this, that.
But I think that's a little bit of the problem. That's not going to solve the issue, but that's part of the problem. You can't care too much, man. You take Conor McGregor, for example. Everybody comes into the UFC. Virtually everybody comes into the UFC with hype behind them. Nobody just walks into the UFC like, this guy's here. No, everybody comes in with some hype behind him. Conor came in with some hype behind him, but then he took the reins of that hype and he was able to take that to where he is now. Same thing with Tyron. Tyron came into the UFC with hype behind him from being in Strikeforce and seeing what he can do, and then the first fight, his fight with Jay Heron. You have to start saying, if you say you're something, then you got to go do what you say you are for people to jump on board. If you say you're something and then you don't do those things,
Yeah.
You
No,
know, they're gonna
absolutely.
stay away from you.
But I do think Cormier does have a. I thought he was just bitching about the poster until I saw the poster. So he was really mad because the poster against Anthony Johnson is a humongous picture of Anthony Johnson and a little picture of fucking Cormier. And you know, Johnson might have been just 8, so maybe that's why they made it. But it was 10 times. I mean, he is the champ. He should be the fucking thing.
Well, they did the same. They've done that poster before with Henna Barrow and TJ Dillashaw, UFC 173. And Barrow was this giant thing, TJ Little. Same thing with UFC 158, Nick Diaz and GSP.
You need to cut out more. But I'm saying, you know, you're absolutely.
I have these in my apartment, but like
That's why you need to get out more.
Like you said, they're putting one really small, one really big, and it's like, okay, Johnson's the one we're hyping here, but he's not the champion.
Exactly. They should hype the champion.
Yeah.
And a guy like Cormier, I always think there is a disconnect with him and the fans. And it's not fair because he is a guy who beat Josh Barnett. I mean, he is a guy
He won the heavyweight Grand Prix as a reserve.
Yeah, so he really should get more. I'm excited for that fight, by the way. Really excited for that fight. I'll tell you who actually I was really impressed with was David Tamor.
I was about to ask you what you thought of that.
That dude, because everybody was talking about how good this guy was.
Everybody
Venata?
counted Tamer out.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, Venata's going to murder him. Venata's going to do this. And it's unfortunate that Tamer's big claim to fame was telling Cody Garbrandt he's going to fuck him in the ass. But
Yeah, well, listen.
he kind of got himself away from that now.
I got to tell you though, you know, Venata, if it was a cool karate exposition, he would have won. He had the slicker moves.
Yeah.
He definitely had the more flashier moves. But in a fight, he's missing that grinding. That he's missing the grind.
Yeah.
He's got all the flash, and it's going to beat a lot of guys with spinning wheel kicks and everything else. But it just seems to be when push came to shove, the other guy, Tamora, was the more wanted it more.
Yeah, he was a little too loose in there. You know, there's times when you got to tighten up your game, especially when when it's getting that close or it's getting to the final of the last round, and it's close. You got to tighten up your game and play to win.
Yeah. By the way, on a different note, I got to talk for a second about this. So when MMA Roasted first came on the scene, okay, which by the way, Dana White, he called me up and said, I want to do this thing where you do these videos, and you know, I obviously made those videos with the UFC for 3 years, and all the jokes I didn't use for the videos, I used for my Twitter account, and I was just throwing jokes out there. And as a comedian, look, every 10 jokes you make, maybe 3 are going to work, which means 7 are not. And not to mention, comedy is subjective. What I find funny, Eve might not find funny. You know, I don't get Tyler Perry movies. I bet he does. Okay, however.
I fucking hate you, dog.
Okay, so you like Tyler Perry?
No.
Oh, okay, all right. So, all right, Eve voted for Trump. Okay, but I'm saying there's things that like he can't vote. But anyway, there are things that I like. There are things that I like that other people don't like. Now, that being said, in like the beginning, I was getting, all of a sudden, people were really responding to MMA Roasted. I mean, I was like, you know, I was in Fighters Only, one of the top 20 things going on, and this and that, and I'm getting a lot of hype. I'm working for Fox Sports, and that's when the haters came. The fucking other people that wrote for websites that were like, man, why is this guy getting attention? I've been doing this, yada, yada. And they don't realize that, look, jokes are attractive. People want to laugh, you know. And if all you're doing is giving your opinions or you're just giving facts, you know, a lot of people could just say facts, you know. You look on Twitter, there's 4,000 people telling you who won what round and how many punches. That's not, I mean, I'm not negating it. It's just the guy who's writing the joke is probably going to get the attention because it's different. Yeah. It's different. And I wouldn't say it's harder, but I'm not just observing what happened and reporting it, you know?
Yeah.
And
it's like sweets for your brain.
There's an art in that too. Anyway, there was a couple of people that were really coming after me, and I never responded because I'm like, you know what? Like, why give them the credibility? I got my fans here. Now I'm going to introduce them to these people, and it's a no-win situation, and that's what they want. But these people are like, a lot of them were social justice warriors, SJWs. You know, they're like, oh, your jokes are this, your jokes are sexist, your jokes are misogynist. Meanwhile, the sexist jokes the jokes that they were saying were sexist were being retweeted by the girls I was making fun of, and they were the ones laughing the hardest. So it's one of those things. Sometimes I'll be at a comedy club and you'll make a racial joke and about, like, let's say a black person, and you look over and the white people are going ooh, and the black guy's laughing. It's like, it's this whole new culture of I'm now offended for somebody versus let them decide, you know? Anyway, there was one comic that was constantly retweeting it and going after me. And I never responded to him. He blocked me on one account. One guy always coming, like, taking the side of the people. This dude, Jamie Kilstein, right? This comic out of New York. And he was always fucking coming after me. And I just was like, I'm not even engaging in this. Well, lo and behold, fucking last week, Jamie Kilstein got kicked off Citizen Radio for sexually harassing women. He was cheating on his wife. He was flying in girls. And his whole thing was, I'm a male feminist. Men are this. I always side with women. And anytime a comic got accused of anything, he would then always never even let the comic even defend himself. It was always, he was the guy with the pitchfork on the front of I'm the guy. And this fucker was the bigger hypocrite than all of them.
Yeah.
When people were calling him like on Bill Cosby, I wouldn't call him Bill Cosby. He wasn't raping people, but he was being just an asshole to women for a guy who, I'm the fucking, and just like, bro, really?
Yeah, that's how you play the game, right? When you throw that out there, that's the guy that you are. So all the women come to stand next to you and be on your side. And you can take them to bed.
And that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
What a fucking man. And look, if you want to be a male feminist, go ahead. I don't care. There are plenty of men out there, and you could choose whatever the fuck you want to do. But don't point the finger at other people and be like, you're fucking, and gang up on comics, especially comics. Because as a comic, it's like,
there should be nothing off limits, right?
Number one, never off limit, but also like, as a comic, you know what other comics are going through.
Yeah.
Like, you know how hard it is to make it as a comic. And at a certain level, like, I didn't even like it when comics were attacking Dane Cook. I mean, yeah, if he was stealing jokes, then you have a right to go after him. But a lot of times, a comic will make it big, and other comics will fucking attack that comic. And I'm like, I mean, maybe do it in the privacy of your own home if you want to fucking bitch to somebody. But publicly shaming comics, like, come on, dude.
So
anyway.
At the end of that day, you went to bed laughing.
I didn't laugh because I was just like, really?
Well, karma's a bitch, man.
Yeah, but I'm not pointing the finger at him and be like,
no, but it's like,
because
he's
I'm not saying that
talking-
I'm perfect. I'm not even close to perfect.
No, but he's saying
you know?
he's talking shit about people and you all these years, and he's doing the exact same shit. So
I
you're
wasn't
like-
even doing those things.
No, I know,
I
but
was
I'm
writing
saying
jokes.
like what he's saying people are doing. He ended up being the first one fucking doing.
He ended up doing them.
So you get to go to bed laughing.
Yeah,
that
maybe.
night.
I would. That still didn't make me laugh, but still, like, I'm still a miserable fuck. But I'm saying it just seems like. To go after comics for making jokes, you have to look at intent. The intent of every joke is to make someone laugh.
Yeah.
That's the fucking intent. And a lot of times you fail. You fail miserably, but you try to make someone laugh.
Wasn't there a quote about that? Something like cast the first stone. The ones who are like...
Well, Joan Rivers had a great quote. Like, we're fucking jokes. We're comedians. We don't apologize for jokes. If you don't like it, fucking leave. And the problem is that social media, it used to just be on stage. You could do it on stage, and, if you get offended, fuck off, But now there's this, when you take it off the stage onto Twitter or Facebook, then all of a sudden you're no longer on stage, and then everyone has a right to, and then when you're not there to say it, so whatever. I just had to say, man, really, bro? Anyway, I'm going to talk about something that I do enjoy, which is Blue Apron, the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. Blue Apron's mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone. They achieve this by supporting a more sustainable food system, setting the highest standard for ingredients, and building a community of home chefs. Yes, you could be a home chef. Blue Apron has established partnership with over 150 local farms, fisheries, and ranchers across the U.S. As a result, seafood is sourced with sustainably under standards developed in partnership with the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch. They got beef, they got chicken and pork come from responsibly raised animals. I'm telling you, this stuff, it's great. If you want to cook, I'm all about it. Cooking together, it builds strong family bonds. Me and my dad always bond over cooking. Research shows that Blue Apron families cook nearly 3 times more often. Those who spend a lot at restaurants and high-end grocery chains can now spend under $10 per person for a delicious meal. I know that I always constantly eat out, and I wonder why I'm broke. Now, their featured upcoming meals are salmon piccata with orzo and broccoli, pork chops and miso butter with bok choy and marinated apple, vegetable chili and baked sweet potatoes with crispy tortilla chips, and spicy shrimp coconut curry with cabbage and rice. It's affordable. I'm telling you. $10 per meal. That's less than that. It delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. And I'm telling you, check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/MMA roast. You'll love how good it feels, how it tastes, and to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. Don't wait. That's blueapron.com/MMA roast. Okay.
You need them to make a meal that's an MMA roast.
Do you cook, by the way?
A little bit, but not well at all.
Now, how
I'm
good was
good
that,
at
like,
breakfast.
Bahamian cooking? It was amazing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the best thing in the world.
Is that why their asses are so nice and big? Is it because of the
What are
cooking?
you doing checking out my ass?
No, not you. I'm just saying, like, now, did you live? What island did you grow up on?
Nassau, New
I
Providence.
used to go to Nassau all the time because I used to work on the cruise ships.
Okay.
And there was a Chinese food restaurant in Nassau that it had the best Chinese food I've ever had. They would come, and then I would go to the Nassau. I would overnight. I would go to some club that was open till 5 a.m. at night.
Clubs don't close.
And then I would watch the UFC at some local bar. The one bar had the UFC, and I'd always watch it there. I was the only white person there, but I knew all about fighting, so that like they would all love me because they would ask me who would win. But Bahamas, I had so much fun in the Bahamas, man. They're just nice people there.
Yeah.
Super nice
Did you ever go to the fish fry?
No.
Oh, man.
I don't know
Okay,
what that
so
is.
when I go back, I'll make sure to let you know and see if you're going to be around.
The fish fry.
The fish fry.
Oh, nice.
It's like this big outdoor thing. It's a bunch of different restaurants, but it's right on the water.
I like it. I want to go. Me and you, the fish fry. Sounds like a lesbian bar. All right, so I'm going to call Michael Chiesa right now. Here we go. And then we got to talk about Bubba Jenkins' fight this weekend. He's fighting in Russia. In England. Along with, you know what's a good fight, actually, is Nam Fan.
And
Who's he fighting?
And Robert Whitaker.
Robert Whitaker.
I'm sorry, Whitefoot.
Robert Whiteford. I like that
Oh,
dude,
yeah,
Whiteford.
yeah.
That's a good fight.
No, Luke Barnett.
I like Robert, man. When I was down at ATT, we had a little bit of training together. Robert's tough, man. He's so much fun. It's funny because they're both my friends on Facebook, and I posted this thing on my Instagram yesterday about them. The picture was on my news feed.
Yeah.
It was Robert posted this thing about his fight. Robert Whiteford ready to wham bam KO Nam Pham. And the very next picture, and the very next thing on my feed was Nam Pham saying, "Look at this asshole." But it wasn't. It had nothing to do with Robert Whitefoot. It was just.
Oh, no way.
It was just.
That's hilarious.
Somebody parked bad.
Nam Fan is a nice guy. There's a clip of Nam Fan beating up a high school bully. Have you ever
saw
seen it
that.
in the
Yeah.
wrestling room?
Yeah.
He went up against a guy that must have been 100 pounds heavier than him, and Nam just knocked him out in 6 seconds in high school. I don't even know if it was even legal or if Nam was even went to that high school or what the deal was. But
I met Nam at the Tito Chael fight. He was there.
really, he's a nice
He was
guy.
sitting like 2 seats away from me. Super nice guy.
Super
Never
nice
met him
guy.
before.
He came to a couple comedy shows. I remember a funny wrestling story before we talked to Michael Chiesa. So me and Connor Hune used to, you know Connor Hune?
Yeah, I know
We used to coach wrestling at Paul Revere. And Connor was always angry because he was like just getting ACL surgery and did not want to be there. But like he was still a great coach. He's one of these guys. He was like took second in the state of Colorado. Dad was a wrestling coach, wrestling fucking wizard. Never used it in his fights. Wanted to become a striker, kind of like a Masford. Who's the other guy that was a black belt from Ohio? That like.
Oh, George Urgell?
Yeah, exactly. Dragel. He was like, I go, his jiu-jitsu is so good, you don't even know it exists.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen him use it. Meanwhile, the guy's like a really good black belt, right?
Yep.
So me and Connor are coaching. It's probably the second month into wrestling. And we have a match that day. So we're getting ready to load the van. And this little black kid named Titus shows up. And I'd never seen this kid before in my life. And he goes, "Hey, I'm here for the match." I go, is he on our team? And then Connor's like, I never seen him before in my life. And then this one kid goes, I don't think he even goes to our school. Like he just like heard there was a match. And then Connor, like we were gonna put him out there. We're like, we can't put him. He didn't have shoes. He just like heard there was a wrestling match and just showed up for he's like, I'm here to fight, coach. That was the best. Like the black kids would show up and they'd be like, yo, I'm here for the fight. I'm like, it's not a fight. It's a fucking wrestling match. But I like your spirit. So anyway, we're calling Michael Chiesa right now. Fucking love Michael Chiesa.
No collect or third-party delete will ever be accepted on this
All right, that was not him. Okay.
What the hell was that?
I think I tried to call him Collect by accident. So Michael Chiesa came to my show, and I said he looked like he went down on a Furby because he had that long-ass beard. I mean, I said he looks so homeless, people hand him change while he walks to the octagon. So, I like Chiesa, but man, he is fucking big. Like, I don't know how he makes 55. He looks like he might be 215 right now. Like,
Really?
210.
Is he tall?
Tall,
He's tall.
a little thick.
He's a little pissed off at Eddie Alvarez right now.
We're gonna get to that. We got a lot to cover, CB.
We got something I'm looking forward to covering.
Any new tattoos, by the way?
Nah,
Why not?
because I just redid my whole right arm.
You reached Michael Chiesa with Maverick Enterprises.
No, he didn't because he didn't answer the
Maverick
phone.
Enterprises.
So, well, what do you want to talk about?
Can we talk about how the UFC is just handing an opponent to our co-hosts?
Who? Ellenberger?
Ellenberger got Mike Perry. Allen beat him, and now Ellenberger's going to smash him.
You first of all, yes, that's crazy how two of our co-hosts fight him. But
Are you next?
Mike Perry is not a guy to look over though.
No,
That
no,
dude-
I'm not.
Yeah.
But I think Ellenberger's a tough
I think
fucking
so
dude.
too. And obviously Jake's a great friend. I love him. I do worry about this fight for Jake for a
He
couple.
can get caught.
Number one, he can get caught.
You reached Michael Chiesa.
Number two, Jake seems to do better when the guy's ranked higher than him. Like he was ranked higher than Wonder Boy when he got caught by Wonder Boy. I think Masvidal, I think he was ranked higher than Masvidal, or maybe they were both kind of ranked in the
think it
same.
was like one.
Yeah,
like-
but when Jake's back's against a wall, when he knows he has to win, is when he's at his best. Like the Matt Brown fight,
Yeah.
and then before that, you have to go back to when he knocked out
Like Jake
Shields or
Shields
Maya
and-
or yada yada. So I do worry about this fight because Perry is a young, hungry, hits hard, nothing to lose, everything to gain by Jake Ellenberger. Whereas Ellenberger beats Mike Perry. I mean, Allen said he was ranked, 29th in the division. So what's Perry, like 40? He's got to be. So, and Jake is somewhere around 16, probably.
But it
around,
seems like a win over Perry could shoot him up.
It's a good look. It's a high-profile
quality
fight.
win.
It's a quality
Yeah.
win. It's on Fox, and the groundwork is now seems to be the blueprint is out of how to beat Mike Perry. When you have an undefeated guy, it's hard to know how to beat him. But when you have a guy that just beat him, granted, I think that Allen's strike, he's a lot different striker than Ellenberger.
Yeah.
But I
Allen's
think
more technical.
But I think Jake will win. I think he can win. But I do worry about this fight.
I don't know, man. When you say Jake is tougher when his back's up against the wall, maybe he should just keep his back against the wall.
Yeah.
Jake's tough. His nickname's a juggernaut for a reason. But yeah, Mike Perry is nobody's walkover, and this he can be looking at Jake as like, hey, this guy's been here for a while. He's just outside of the rankings, possibly. This is a big win for me. So I don't know. I don't know if it's easy or necessarily a good fight for Jake with those things.
And I get nervous. Jake was hurt in his last fight against Masvidal. He was hurt against. Wonder Boy obviously hurt him.
Don't sleep on Jorge though.
Fucking Matt. Yeah, well, I didn't think he was gonna be able to hurt Jake, but at the
Don't
same
sleep on
time,
Jorge.
I think Jake. I think the good part about fighting Mike Perry is that he's gonna get under your skin. He's going to piss him off. He's gonna talk
Oh, yeah.
shit. It's not one of those things where they're both like Wonder Boy, where it's this nice fucking farm
Yeah.
boy showing up and with Legos and whatever it is.
And he's coming off his first loss, so he's probably angry.
He's angry and he's gonna talk a lot of shit to
He's gonna
Jake.
talk a lot of shit.
And look, Jake's at Kings. Those guys are killers. The Kings MMA guys are killers.
And he's good at weathering the bullshit. It seems that Jake can just be like, whatever. Because even Masvidal was talking,
A lot
a
of shit.
grip.
And Jake was
And
coming
yeah,
back. That fight I was so pissed about that fight.
but he weathers it well. He doesn't take it like super personal. He's just like, whatever you say, whatever.
Yeah. Now let's talk a little bit about GSP versus Bisping. Look, Michael Bisping, on top of being like a good, Mike Bisping came to my comedy show at the Dime Bar. He comes in. There's like 20. The place holds 25 people. He's sitting there with his wife. Couldn't have been nicer. After the show, he stays around. He helps me put chairs back up. This is the UFC champion helping me move chairs back up. This guy is a really good dude. If he likes you, he's obviously like if he likes you, he decides he likes you. Bisping's one of those guys that he has your back, and he's a really good guy. And I'm happy for him because this fight will generate a ton of money. He's going to get paid. And it seems to be an easier fight than Yoel Romero, Jacare, Rockhold, or Weidman.
Or even, Musasi.
Or Musasi. Yeah, those 5. At the same time, like, what are we doing here? Why do we have rankings? Like, what's the point of being ranked?
We don't.
When a guy can take 3 years off, 4 years off, come back and get a title shot at the weight class above his weight.
I was going to say, and choose his division. Like, I don't want Woodley. I want fucking Bisping. That's more money.
I could see if he came back and fought at 170 for the title. But why is he fighting at 185?
Both divisions are log jammed as like crazy right now, which is a little upsetting.
Strange.
But this is what it is.
But good for Bisping. He's getting paid. And if he hadn't fought those 19 guys that were on steroids, I might feel a little worse. But he arguably all of his losses, aside from Rockhold and Tim Kennedy, have come to guys. Probably a couple more guys. But you look at like even when he fought Belfort, roided up Belfort. He fought Anderson Silva, who I think tested positive for something. He won that fight, but he fought Kung Lee, who was on something.
He was on more than something. That was a big dude.
And he beat Kung Lee. He fought Vanderlei Silva, who was on something.
He lost that fight, though.
He lost that fight. He fought Chael, who then tested positive for stuff. I don't know if he tested positive during that fight, but he was on stuff. A lot of these losses that he had, they're asterisks,
Yeah.
And you got to feel for a guy like that. And Hendo, he had a TRT exemption when he fought Hendo the first time.
Yeah.
So good for him. But at the same time, you're like, well, I mean, Yoel Romero is 75 years old. And how many more fucking fights does this guy have?
Here's the other thing that I propose to you guys. If you're GSP, is Bisping easier than Woodley?
Eve?
I feel like, in my opinion...
Have you ever trained with GSP?
No, I haven't trained with George. Trained not physically. Like, we've been in the gym hitting mitts.
You train with Bisping?
Together. Haven't trained with Bisping at all. Never even been around him training. I don't know how much tougher he is because like Woodley doesn't like the rap, but he fades. George won't fade. Bisping doesn't fade. So I don't know. I mean, Woodley's I think more powerful, more explosive, more dynamic athlete.
And way better wrestling.
Yeah, with way better wrestling. But Bisping's, I mean, he's no slouch defensively wrestling. I mean, he's really good, especially for an English dude. And then he's more. He uses more of his tools. Same thing I was talking about earlier with Woodley. I think GSP could shut Tyron. So I don't know. Maybe Tyron is actually an easier fight for GSP if this Tyron that showed up against Wonderboy is the one.
But what do you
fights.
think of this fight in general?
I like my job.
That's the best answer I've ever
All right. Yeah.
Is that the new dodgeball? I love my job.
I guess that's the new dodgeball. Look. Yeah.
I think right now, based on ratings, Bisping's a bigger money fight. But again,
they're gonna. It's short-sighted.
If GSP wins, what happens?
If GSP wins, is he the champ at 185?
Yeah, he's the champ at 185.
And then he has to fight Yoel Romero.
He's either Yoel or they booked up Jacare and Whitaker now. You got Weidman's fighting Weidman's fighting Musasi. Rockhold's kind of doing his own thing, but then you look at 170. Woodley just beat Wonderboy. You got Maya fighting Masvidal. You got other guys coming up. Both divisions are log jam, but this is, to me, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Give him a big money fight that is not for the belt.
I don't know. It's weird. The whole thing is weird. But I heard GSP used to beat him in training. I don't know if that's true. I just heard it on the underground, so I made a thread about that. I don't know if that's even true.
He beat Bisping?
Yeah, that's what GSP used to be. But where would they even train together, right? Like,
I don't feel like they have.
Yeah,
because
that's
Bisping
probably
was in England, either at Rough House or Wolf's Lair. GSP was always at TriStar or Greg Jackson's.
Yes, that's probably bullshit.
I don't think they ever crossed paths.
It's weird. But listen, I'm going to watch it. Of course, I'm going to watch it.
Everybody's going to watch it. I'm going to watch it,
We need to know a date.
I heard it's going to be July 4th weekend. That weekend is what I'm hearing.
The International Fight Week?
Yes, which by the way, I will be doing comedy that whole week at the Stratosphere. So if you're going to be there, I'm excited. Now, let's talk about Bubba Jenkins signed with ACF last week. ACB last week, and took a fight on 1 week notice. Flew to England. I don't know how he's making 145. When he came over here, he was like 245. and I like Bubba, but it's strange. So he's fighting a guy this Saturday. Who's he fighting?
I forgot his fucking name.
Okay, he's fighting a guy who's supposedly pretty good, though. The guy's 20-10, and according to people online, 98% of the people said Ali Bagov he's fighting, who's 22-10. Bubba is he's got a record of 11-3, but I don't know how he's making weight at 145. I don't think he's going to make the weight, personally, but maybe he'll do Kegels on the way over there or something, but it's crazy.
He's already there.
But good for him. I mean, I heard he's making a lot of money for this fight. I heard they pay really well.
I think he might be fighting at 155.
Okay, hopefully that makes more sense.
Because the other guy's a 70 kilo, and I looked it up, and it's 154.3 pounds.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think it's a better weight class for Bubba in general.
Especially traveling overseas and having a cut. Yeah, 145 would have been very difficult.
Now, what do you think of taking this fight on 1 week notice, Yves?
I mean, I don't know what he knows about the opponent. I don't know much about the opponent. I feel like I know the name, but I can't picture seeing his fights. But from where he's from, it seems like wrestling and boxing is going to be his strengths. I don't know, man. Bubba's a good wrestler.
Yeah,
I mean, we all know that.
Great wrestler.
Yeah, great wrestler. And I don't know. It's hard because he wants to make money. This is what's on the table, and I don't know what they're paying him. Did he take the fight because of what they're paying him, or did he take the fight because he feels ready to fight?
My guess, what they're paying him. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. I look. How do you? So also on this card, Luke Big Slow Barnott, another fan of the podcast, good dude. He's fighting Mamed Khalidov.
Oh, Mamed Khalidov.
Yeah,
it's
32-4.
He's a decent name. If I remember correctly, he might have been in Bellator quickly, but. Yeah, I know the name. It's a good fight for Barnott.
And Vinny Magali is supposed to be on the card. I guess he's off the card.
He got injured yesterday or 2 days ago.
Pat Healy, same thing, off the card. He was fighting Saul Rogers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's actually a good fight.
So how do I watch that? And David Mitchell, I think I've seen him before. He's on the card too.
He was either in Bellator. I think he was in UFC, maybe 1 fight, 2 fights, something like that.
How do I watch this, CV?
I don't know.
It's
not on Fight Pass. It's not something.
Last time it was on YouTube, and they had something on they had a live stream on Sherdog or something.
Yeah, wasn't that the one that was here?
Yeah.
So I don't know. This one's out of Manchester. But I'm looking up Bubba's opponent. He's 22-10. He's been TKO. He's been finished by knockout 8 times.
Okay.
That's not good.
I think Bubba.
That's good for Bubba.
Yeah, I think Bubba takes him down. And in terms of the money, I think it was the money because I had heard from somebody who had fought with them before that they hook it up on the pay side.
Yeah.
So if he had to fly all the way to England, I'm sure he's getting a nice payday.
Yeah, good for him, man. Good for him. By the way,
they pay like Pride and pay you cash.
Yeah, exactly. Also, so that's big. Michael Chiesa is not picking up the phone, so I don't know if we're gonna have any guests today.
What did you think about the Rashad fight?
Man, I had money on that fight. I bet on black. Fuck, always betting on black from now on. But so what do
that
I?
That was close. Though.
I thought he won. I honestly thought he won the fight. I don't know. I thought he won, but then everybody else thought he lost that I talked to. I'm like, well, I think he landed more. I think he won the first 2 rounds and lost the third. I thought he won the fight. It was close. I was looking to give it to him because I wanted the money. It was $50. Won me $150. I bet on Woodley and Rashad. At the same time, all these guys are telling him to retire afterwards, like Dominic Cruz and Brian Stan, which I understand because if you're not beating Dan Kelly, you're sort of out of the top 20. And a guy like Rashad Evans, who's been to the top, this is not like a young Rashad Evans. What's the point of taking all this damage?
Mm-hmm. But he did look physically good, though, right? At 185?
Yeah.
Looked tremendous.
And the fight itself, I mean, he competed. And Dan Kelly is not, he's no slouch, even though he's way down there in the rankings. He comes to fight.
Yeah.
He's like an old Darren Elkins. You know what I mean?
He's a tough fucking dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's like, who the fuck is this guy? Rashad's going to murder him. I'm like, you can't count this dude out. I love Rashad, but you cannot count.
No.
This dude shows up. He looks like your dad coming to pick you up from school, and then he beats the fuck out of you.
You know what, though? I also give him a lot of credit, Rashad, because I was worried about his chin the most.
Me too.
And he took Kelly's shots and didn't seem to get hurt at all. It wasn't rocked. Maybe once or twice, a little bit stammered. But do you think he won the fight, Rashad?
I didn't pay that much attention to it. I mean, I watched the fight, but I was in the middle of talking with a bunch of people at the same time.
Yeah. Well, do you think he won the fight?
Rashad?
Yeah.
I gave it to Dan by a close edge.
I just remember thinking Rashad looked like Fred Sanford's son.
Do you think he won the fight?
Me?
Yeah.
I think, Dan Kelly, he had more octagon control the whole fight, right? For at least the first 2 rounds, he had more octagon control. And that's how I gave him the fight.
Yeah.
But it was very close. You're right.
By the way, okay, thanks for your expert analysis. Okay, so we're going to call Don Fry right now. That's too loud. Turn it off. Why are you so hot, CB?
We're turning the fan up
Hello?
faster.
All right.
The hell was that?
That was his answer machine. He said, I'll try to get to you. If not, hold your breath till your head explodes. So that was Don Fry.
Did you watch Bellator on Friday?
I did not. How was it?
I did not either. I know that Julia Budd finished and retired Marlis Kunin.
Oh, cool. Please bring up stuff that none of us have watched.
It was for the inaugural
I know.
145 title.
I wanted to watch it. I was missing Bobby Brown. So, all right. Now, what are we talking about? Also, the fights this weekend. We got a bunch of really good fights this weekend. I'm excited. This card is going to be good. I'm actually really, really excited for this card. Kelvin Gastelum versus Vitor Belfort. Holy shit. I mean, if you were to tell me that like 10 years ago, that or 5 years ago, that Kelvin Gastelum, when Vitor Belfort was knocking everybody out.
You'd be writing his eulogy right now.
You'd be like, this guy's fucking
saying.
dead. But holy shit. And I think he's going to win. I think Kelvin's got this. Where I do worry about is that it's in Brazil. And it does seem like these Brazilians, their bodies seem to get better when they fight in Brazil. For some odd reason. Just fucking call me crazy.
It's the acai.
Their muscles come back. It just seems like their stamina comes back. I do worry about that. I think Kelvin could win. It's a 5-round fight. Kelvin does not get tired. He's got better wrestling than Vitor. Vitor looked like shit against Weidman. He got schooled by Musasi. And I think that Kelvin looked amazing against Tim Kennedy, although maybe you could say that was not the same Tim Kennedy. Maybe it was a combination of Kelvin looking good and Tim looking bad. But Kelvin has never really lost a fight. If you look at all of his fights, you could say he beat the Woodley fight. He won against Woodley. Maybe you want to give it to Woodley because Kelvin was
Overweight.
47 pounds over or something, right? Which, by the way, people don't realize. Tyron Woodley, back to him being a good guy. So Kelvin gave him 15% of his purse for that fight because he missed weight. Tyron kept calling Kelvin and say, hey, man, I want to give you back the money. I know you work hard. I want to get back money. Kelvin's like, don't worry about it. Never got back to him. Tyron sent the check to his gym and made sure he got that money. It's a fucking pretty cool thing to do.
That's cool.
A lot of fighters would not have done that. A lot of fighters.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't have?
No. Make weight, man.
By the way, we didn't talk also off topic. Dustin Poirier against Eddie Alvarez.
211. There's a lot of big matchups.
I'm so
announced.
excited for that. I was talking to Dustin. We were talking when he said we were in the middle of a text conversation, and when he said that he got that fight,
Crazy.
I was so pumped for that fight.
Crazy.
Man. I love that fight. I love it for him, and I love the fight itself.
Yeah. Who do you think wins that fight?
Dustin Poirier.
You think think he knocks him out?
Yeah.
But this is based on what?
This is based on
He's ATT.
That, yeah.
Poirier's young. He's a young guy. He's still young, especially in the fight game. Eddie has a lot of miles on him, and Poirier, they're both fighters, but it's the young lion versus the old lion. That's what I look at this fight as. And Dustin is constantly showing improvement. Every time he goes out there, he shows improvement. This fight with Jim Miller, it wasn't perfect, but he still showed improvement in being able to rein it in. You know what I mean? There were times when he just like, all right, just getting into a fight, and it's like, let's fight. But then everybody's like, come back, Dustin, come back. Bring that shit down. And he was able to do that.
Here's the thing, though. It's easy to call this, to say that because of how bad Eddie looked against Conor McGregor. But before that fight, everybody was saying Eddie was going to fucking kill Conor McGregor. Me and you both said that. So it's very easy to get fooled by one fight.
Yeah, but for me, I'm not fooled by the one fight. I don't think it's just the one fight. That fight with Conor, that one convinced me. I had to admit after that fight with Conor, I'm like, there's something great about that guy. Technically, skill-wise, beyond the mouth and beyond the persona that he puts out there. There's something great about that guy. But with Eddie, going into that fight, it was one of them. I'm sorry, going into the RDA fight, you know, it was where the weight class was. There was really nobody for RDA to fight. And Eddie was just the guy. It wasn't like he had these dominating performances. Yeah, he beat this guy and he beat that guy. All the things that Eddie does well, Dustin does those things well also, if not better. They both got chins, but Eddie has the more miles on him. It's just the older lion.
I can't pick this fight yet. You have to ask me closer. I do get nervous sometimes that every time I think Poirier is going to win, he loses. Not every time, but a couple times. I thought he was going to beat McGregor. I thought he was going to beat Michael Johnson. Who else did I think he was going to beat that he lost a fight? A Korean Zombie. I'm like, he's going to fucking keep. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago. But then again, I mean, Poirier.
But I mean, you could say that about
I thought
every
he was going to lose
fight.
to Joe Duffy. When he beat Joe Duffy, I was like, okay, because I thought Joe Duffy, and I still think Joe Duffy's something special.
Yep.
But I thought he was something really special, and he still might be. But I thought this dude was.
Dustin's just specialer.
Yeah, he's more he's specialer. Yes, exactly. So back to Belfort Gastelum. I think that Kelvin's going to grind him out, take him down, possibly stop the fight by ground and pound or rear naked choke against Vitor Belfort round 2. That's what I'm calling. Yves.
I can't call a finish or call when it's going to happen, but I think Kelvin wins this fight also. I think I saw the stare off yesterday at the press conference, and I don't know, it just for me, Vitor had this aura around him that was saying that I have too much experience for this kid. This kid is young. This kid is that. And there are times when you go in there thinking that, and then this kid shows up to fight, and it's like, oh shit, this is kind of real, and you can never get that train back on the tracks after that happens. And I think that's what's going to happen on Saturday night for Kelvin and Vitor.
I can't wait. CB, who do you have in this fight?
I got Kelvin. I think it's going to be a lot easier than people think. They're like, Vitor is.
But it's in Brazil, though.
It's in Brazil, but you know
what?
Has
Vitor ever lost in Brazil? Yes, he lost to, what's the name in Brazil, right? Didn't he lose to Musasi? That was in Brazil, right?
Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah. I think Kelvin's too much, especially at 185 where he doesn't have to cut the extra 15. I think he can get a takedown, ground and pound him out. Not a problem.
Joe?
It depends. I think it's going to be hard for Vitor to take Gastelum down, right? He's good defense. But I just don't know if how good Kelvin's jiu-jitsu is, but I think it's going to be a stand-up fight.
He's a fucking 10th planet guy.
I think he's a brown belt, right?
And Vitor's not going to go for a takedown on Kelvin.
Yeah, so I think it's going to stay on the feet, and I think Kelvin wins that fight.
Kelvin
takes Vitor down if he wants.
He's also a state
Easily.
He's also a state champion of Arizona, and Kelvin's also one of these guys that like a lot of these guys I feel like would go to Brazil and let everything get to him. He'll fucking take selfies on the way to the octagon. He'll like ask girls on Tinder. He doesn't let shit get to him. He's almost like I even told him on the show. It's like he doesn't know he's supposed to lose these fights, and he goes out and wins.
He's the only thing I don't like about Kelvin is the discipline in regards to the weight. That's it, because he's a disciplined cat. Besides that, he won the Ultimate Fighter. His striking has come so far since then, and he understands fighting very well. He has this natural understanding of the game, and I think that's what's going to be a big plus for him in this fight.
I can't wait for this fight. I'm really excited for this fight a lot. Well, actually, I'm actually trying to call him right now. Let's see if he picks up.
Hello?
Kelvin.
Yes.
Kelvin. Is this Kelvin Gastelum?
Yes, who's this?
Hey, it's Adam Hunter on the MMA Roasted podcast.
Oh, Adam, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How are you? I'm Yves Edwards. I just wanted to wish you good luck on this fight.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I'm right here chilling in my hotel room.
Nice, man. Are you right? So what's the game plan? We're
Not eating, are you?
We're just gonna take him down, fucking pound him out?
I don't know. I kind of feel like I have the ability to knock him out too, you know?
Yeah, definitely do, man. Are you excited?
super excited, man. I'm stoked. I'm ready, man. And man, you know, I've been on weight all week. I'm just ready for it to be over.
Nice. Now, was the weight cut hard to 185?
No, man. Like I said, I've been on weight all week.
I love it, man. I'm so proud of you, man. Here you are. You're a kid. You were working at a fucking bail bond place. You were a complete loser. You had nothing. You had nothing going for you, and now you're fucking. And now you're headlining Brazil, UFC Brazil, man. How fucking cool is that?
It's fucking sick, man. I appreciate the motivation there.
Now, who did you bring to work your corner? Is it Ben and Jerry?
Good one. No, I got Rafael Cordero with me. I got Victor Davila, and I got my two coaches that I've always had since my very first MMA fight.
Nice, man.
I always have them in my corner.
Now, how are the Brazilian chicks? Are they just smoking hot? Are you on Tinder over there?
No, but I know a few people that are, and they're having quite a success.
Now, are those people Kelvin Gastelum?
They might no.
No, but you guys.
Man, I think they've been keeping me busy out here, but I know other people have been enjoying themselves pretty well.
But you've seen some of these
here.
hot Brazilian girls, and you're like, after the fight, let's hang out, right? I mean, you're setting up some dates for after the fight, correct?
I'm trying to, man, but you know they keep me busy now.
Good. That's awesome. Man.
Seriously, they have me super busy, man. But yeah, the women here are beautiful.
Now, are you going to ask that Vitor gets tested on the way to the octagon?
Oh man, I don't even give a damn. You know.
Yeah, fuck it, right?
But it is what it is. It is what it is. What am I going to do? Stop the fight from happening if he's positive? No.
Now we got Yves Edwards here. Yves, any advice for Kelvin?
I don't know if I have any advice, but Kelvin, I'm calling your fight from the Fox Sports studio this weekend, from the pre and the post fight stuff. And is there anything that you would want the fans to know that you think they don't know, especially going into this fight, about you and Vitor?
Anything that people might not know.
Anything you want them to know. Anything you want them to know going into this fight about you, facing Vitor. Vitor's one of those old school cats, man. I'm sure at some point you had to have looked up to him. So what's that mean for you?
For sure. Yeah, man, I think this is the biggest fight of my life. You know, he's the biggest opponent that I've ever faced. So he's a legend in the sport of MMA. He's a legend here in Brazil. So I'm just honored. I'm happy to be facing a guy like him, and I think a win over him really makes me a household name in the UFC, and that's just another stepping stone in my career, man. I feel like I'm putting all the experiences that I've had, the good ones, the bad ones, and man, I'm looking forward to this fight.
Have any Brazilians been talking shit to you?
I heard a few chants, but then I sang to them, I danced for them. They liked that.
That's awesome, man.
Accepted.
No, I mean, look, I think that you got better striking than this dude. I think your wrestling's better. Your jiu-jitsu's on point, right? You're a brown belt under Eddie Bravo, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got this.
Thank you, brother.
I know you got this.
I'm pretty sure I got this. I know. I feel very confident coming into the fight, man, for sure. And that has to do with preparation, the people that I'm surrounded with. I'm in a really good place mentally, physically, man. I'm ready to go.
How's like is the air different over there, or the altitude, or anything different than how it is in the U.S.?
Oh man, it's like a 90% humidity here. It's pretty bad. And then I'll also be fighting around 3 a.m. here, and that's been hard trying to adjust to that. It's like trying to get my body going at that time because I've been training at 3 a.m. so that way my body gets used to it.
Just put on that Tyron Woodley fight from last week, and they'll put you right to bed.
Ha! That's what I keep hearing, man. I was flying in Fortaleza, but I didn't see the fight. I keep hearing, don't watch it, don't watch it.
Yeah, Tyron won, but it wasn't the most exciting fight. But there were some good fights on the card. The Darren Elkins fight was awesome.
I went back and saw the Darren Elkins fight, and then I went back and saw the Mark Hunt fight, and that's the only fights I saw.
Yeah. Now your teammates fighting on the card too, right? Benny
Dariush, and then Algoon, who trains with us. He did his camp here in Brazil, but he usually trains at King's.
And then
Cordero's going to be in his corner, so
nice.
We got 3 guys.
And then your boy Luke Barnott's fighting on Saturday too.
Who?
Luke Barnott.
That's right. He's got a big fight over in Russia, in Manchester, England.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Now, I know that like a lot of times in like boxing, the opponents would send like hookers to people's hotels and stuff the night before to try to like get them. Have you noticed any of that?
Man, I'm hoping he does, man.
You actually want the hookers to come to your hotel room?
No, I'm kidding, man.
Hey, Kelvin,
it's funny because my coach said, "You want me to send the hookers over to Vitor's room?" And I'm like, "Nah, don't do it."
Hey, Kelvin, what's your biggest advantage in this fight, man?
I guess the biggest advantage would be my youth. You know, this guy, Vitor, I believe he's on his way out, but I still think he's dangerous, but he's on his way out.
He's dangerous, and the fight's in Brazil, so he's gonna have that. He's gonna have that going for him. You know, he's not gonna want to have to lose in front of his family.
Exactly.
So
does it mean something to you to beat him in Brazil?
3 in a row. I'm sorry?
Does it mean something more to you? Would it be more special to you to beat him in Brazil? Knowing that's where this stuff started, kind of?
It'll be special because I actually enjoy being in Brazil. I actually like the culture here in Brazil. So it'll be good to get a win in front of them.
Now,
and
yeah.
You know, I got half the arena rooting for me, so at least I got that going for me.
Nice. Now, do you speak Spanish? They speak Portuguese over there, right?
Yeah.
But do you understand any of it or no?
Yeah, I've been learning it. And I've been speaking it here. So people kind of like it, I guess. They accepted me a little bit because I've been trying to learn Portuguese and I'm embracing a little bit of their culture, you know. So they actually kind of like it.
Now, my girl told me that the girls are hotter over there because the Brazilian government pays for their work. Like, honestly, they pay for the implants, the ass implants, the face. It's part of their health care. I swear. Is that true?
I have no idea, but there's something definitely going on down here in Brazil with the women. They're ridiculous.
I could see you now. If you win, right, or when you win, are you going to call anybody out?
I already got something in mind, but I'm not going to share it.
Oh, come on, tell us. Is it Bisbing?
No, I can't. No.
Is it Luke Barnott, Bisbing,
Jacare?
I can't. Hey, Kelvin,
No, I can't.
You plan to stick around at 185, or you think you're ever going back down to 170?
Or to 205?
205. No, I think I'm going to stick around at 85, but I definitely still plan on going back to 170.
Nice.
In the future.
Now, I mean, didn't what's the name, Mike Dolce, say that you could make 155 if you wanted to?
I believe he did.
Is that true?
I believe he did. Only if I cut my my left testicle and my right arm.
Well, I mean, you're in Brazil, so they might have the stuff that they could do that for you. Now, Shogun versus Volante. Who do you like on that? Who you like in that fight?
Well, I got to root for the teammate Shogun.
Oh, Shogun, he's a teammate. Shogun is.
I got to root.
He's a King's MMA.
Yeah.
Over the American wrestler, the guy who went to Hofstra.
I know. I freaking love Gian. I love him.
Yeah.
But I have to go for the teammate.
A lot of now. By the way, there's a hot chick that you should go out with on this card. She's Marianne Renault. She's you know who she is? She's the Belizean Bruiser.
I do.
She's fighting Betch Cahill. She's a very underrated hot chick, by the way. And people don't know this. She's a school teacher. She's nice. She's a fighter. I think you guys would make a cute couple.
You think she's hot?
Yeah, she's hot. What, you don't think she's hot?
No comment.
All right, I'm saying no. There's definitely some pictures where she looks hot.
Well, fight week, girl fighters don't look hot.
Yeah, fight weeks might not look hot, but I'm telling you.
Doesn't she have a husband?
Is she married?
I thought she had a husband.
All right, well, forget her then. Fuck her. Forget it. Fuck it.
Don't do that.
We hate that chick. Okay, so Charles Oliveira. Oh, Alex Oliveira, Tim Means. Hello?
He hung up on you.
Oh.
Brazil.
He hung up.
By the way, confirmed Bubba's fight is 155.
Oh, okay, cool. How funny is that? Kelvin actually answered the phone in Brazil. What time is it over there?
6:30.
At
6:40.
At night?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not that late.
No, I was hoping it was like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
It seems like
He'd be about to go train.
yeah. It seems like he's in good spirits. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably hungry.
You think? I don't think so. How hungry could he be?
At 185, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, he sounds good. He sounds.
By the way, that girl Marinelle is hot.
She is hot.
Yeah.
That girl is hot too.
No, she's not.
Yeah, she is. And she got a
Alright.
banging ass body.
All
on
right,
her.
you're out of your mind. Yo, Kelvin.
I'm out of my mind.
Yo, sorry about that. Yeah, I think she's cute. So Tim Means, Charles Oliveira. Who wins that fight?
It's Alex Oliveira.
Oh, Alex Oliveira.
Tim Means, Charles Oliveira.
Oh,
It's,
no, Alex
it's
Oliveira.
Brazilian cowboy.
I think it'll be an exciting fight. It'll be a pretty exciting fight, but I think Tim Means has got the edge.
Yeah, me too. Now, how's Kevin Lee out there?
I have not gotten a chance to see him.
Oh, he's a good dude. Kevin Lee is a good dude. He's fighting Fernando.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen him around.
Fight.
Yeah, I hope Kevin. He's so funny, that guy. Last time he fought in England, he called out McGregor.
IRVING.
He is so fucking funny. He's a good dude. And then yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. I like
There's a
that.
lot of good
Also,
fights on
Josh
this card.
Berkman's on the card against Prazeres and Formiga versus.
That should be a good fight.
Yep. And then Ray Borg.
I like that fight with. You were just talking about him. I like that fight with Kevin Lee and who's he fighting? He's fighting
Francisco
Trinaldo.
Francisco Trinaldo. Yeah.
Francisco Trinaldo. That I like that fight. That should be an exciting fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. I hope Kevin wins. Kevin's awesome. He's
Yeah, man. I sparred with him once at Extreme Couture, and he throws some heavy leg kicks, man.
Who's the best guy that you ever spar with?
Who's the best guy I've ever sparred with?
Bojangles.
He hasn't sparred
that
with
don't have
me
to
yet.
be a guy from my team. His name is Giga Chikatsi. He fights for glory.
That's Ellenberger's boy
Badass
that just won.
kickboxer.
And he's the best guy that you've ever sparred with?
For sure. He's the best striker that I've ever sparred with. I mean, I've sparred with Johnny Hendricks. I've sparred with GSP, and this guy is a monster.
So GSP Bisbing, who do you think wins that?
Oh, I got Bisping. I mean, not Bisping. I got GSP in that one.
Really? Have you trained with both of them?
I have never trained with Bisping.
So Yves, what you were saying?
Yeah, I was just, how do you have GSP winning that? It's takedown or yeah, how?
Shoot, we'll have to see, man. I mean, he's been out for 3 years, but I'm only going for him based on him being my favorite fighter of all time.
What would it be? What would it mean for you to fight GSP? Or would you want that
I
fight?
mean, the world.
Not
It would mean
considering the
world,
money.
for sure.
I'm sorry.
It would mean the world for sure. I mean, this is the guy that I saw win the title against Matt Hughes, and I saw him running around, getting on his knees, crying, and I remember seeing that, and I remember thinking, I want to do that one day. And, you know, that I just remember getting a lot of inspiration from George when I was starting MMA.
That's awesome.
That's
That's
cool.
beautiful. And I was saying, Kelvin, at all your fights, even the fights you've lost, you could argue that you won. The Tyron Woodley fight was very, very close. The Neil Magny fight, once again, a fight that you were right there. I mean, you're definitely arguably undefeated in the UFC, and you're right there. You're in every single fight, and you're a monster. Have you never even been hurt in a fight, except for one fight you got hurt by? That was Rick Story, right?
That's correct.
That's the only one. And I know a lot of people
dropped
give
me once.
but I got to give you credit, man. Look, UFC 200, you were down and out. You were watching the fight at an Applebee's. You were supposed to be on the card. You know, it was really sad. And now here you are. You come back. You beat Tim Kennedy. That was supposed to be you being punished. Everyone's like, he's getting punished.
Yeah.
You fucking stopped the guy. And now you're in Brazil.
Retired him.
Fighting Vitor Belfort for the fucking, steroid title. You got this, bro. I know, don't get happy.
Sure.
You don't want to be happy to be there, but you got to look back and being like, for a 19-year-old kid, you're doing very well for your life.
TRT versus Arby's.
That's good, man. No, I'm very happy, man, and I'm looking forward to the future, man, because I feel like this is just still the beginning of my career. I feel like, man, and now it's time to turn it up a notch, because now I actually know what I'm doing. As before, I was kind of, I was going with the flow. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just, learning as I go these last few years. And now I actually know what I'm doing. I know what to do. I know what not to do. So I feel like now it's time to turn it up a notch and really implement all these things that I've learned.
Man, Kelvin, I seen you fight a bunch of times, and for me, it was just like, this kid's just another fighter. And then starting to watch the show, I'm sorry, not watch the show, but studying your fights for the fights this weekend, for your fight tomorrow, Saturday night, I saw a lot of good, clean techniques, some good sound fundamentals. I see some natural instincts in fighting, and I see a lot of just a high fight IQ, man. I became a fan over this past 2 weeks, just watching your fights on tape like that, really, really studying you. And
man,
for you to say what you just said to me, I don't mean to put a boulder on your shoulders, but like, I expect a lot out of you, man, because I see a lot of good instincts in you. I see a lot of technique. I watched you win the Ultimate Fighter, and then with virtually no striking, and to come this far and to look that good on your feet and be that comfortable with it, and to not have that coming out of the house, this shows a lot of improvement in a short amount of time, man. I look for big things from you, especially with the statement you just made.
Man, I appreciate that. That means a lot. Yves, thank you very much, man. Honestly, it means a lot. And like I said, this is only still the beginning, man. These last few years, those videos that you've seen has been me just going out on a limb and going out on a limb and winning these fights. But now I feel like, I'm putting everything together, the good experiences, the bad ones, and creating a formula that finally works, and it's time, like I said, it's time to turn it up a notch, because I actually know what I'm doing now.
Now, is your mom with you in Brazil?
No, everybody stay home.
Does your mom know that you have a fight?
Yes.
Nice. I'm happy for you, man. Well, listen, get back to doing whatever you're doing. Get some of those Tinder dates lined up, but don't let it distract you. And make sure that they're actually chicks, by the way, unless you're into that kind of thing. But make sure, because I've heard some stories. So,
yeah, my friends have encountered some problems for sure.
Well, hey man, look, the more the merrier. Good luck with everything, brother. I'm be rooting for you. Everyone's rooting for you. Thank you for. I know we didn't tell you you're gonna be on the podcast. We just called you, but thanks for not hanging up and for being on the podcast. I appreciate it, Kelvin.
All right, man, no problem. I got you, man. Thanks for having my back as well. And Yves, man, thanks for the call. Thanks for the kind words, man. That means a lot.
No, man, it's all truth. I can't wait to see you perform. Vitor is a legend in the game, and for you to get that W, that'll put a big smile on my face.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you, guys, and I'm sure I'll talk to you guys soon.
Take care, Kelvin.
Take it easy.
All right. That
Yeah,
was
we're
Kelvin.
gonna call you on the way to the octagon. Welcome to MMA Roasted. I'm getting Vaselined up. Like, you know, 2 minutes.
Yeah, he probably would take the call.
He'd be
Meanwhile,
like, all right, Vitor, hold on one second.
that's so funny. I think that's gonna be our new policy. We're not gonna tell people that they're on the podcast till we just call them.
Don Fry changed his number, and it didn't fucking help him.
Yeah. So, So, what are your thoughts, Yves, on this fight?
I'm looking forward to it, man. Like I said, I've been watching tape on this kid, and he came out of the house pretty much just a wrestler. He improved so much, and especially the fight with Johnny Hendricks, that showed me a lot about his striking. I mean, Hendricks is not the best striker, but he will stand in there with anybody. I mean, he went toe-to-toe 10 rounds with Robbie Lawler.
And GSP.
So this is, I mean, and for Kelvin, for Kelvin to have improved that much over that period of time, I look forward to seeing more out of him. I do think he's a 170-pounder, and I'm glad to hear him say that he will go back to 170 pounds at some point soon. I think he gets his win over Vitor. Maybe the next guy he calls out, somebody like Robert Whitaker. You know, don't go after big dogs at 185 because, you are putting yourself at a disadvantage.
It's a problem is that when you're a smaller guy fighting a bigger guy, when you have speed, it's a part of your advantage. However, when that guy's fast too, now it's just a good bigger guy beating a good smaller guy. Like, against Tim Kennedy, he had the speed advantage and he's able to hurt him actually. But against like Romero, where maybe he's not as, or Rockhold or Jacare, where he doesn't have the speed. I think he'll have the speed over Romero, but the explosiveness of Romero is what's so dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think a good fight for him, win or lose, at any point at middleweight. I think him and Derek Brunson put on a show. I think that's a good fight. I think that's a good stylistic matchup.
That's a good fight. I think Brunson might be a little too big also, though.
Derek Brunson is one of those guys that I thought he beat Anderson Silva, but that was a tough first fight back from his knockout because you're going from Whitaker, who knocked you out.
Yeah. And
that was a guy also with Derek Brunson it's one of those things where he was almost doing everything technically wrong, but it was working for him. When he fought Uriah Hall, when he fought these other guys, Sam Alvey, of just hands down, crazy swinging, almost like a world star fight, but was winning because it was Derek Brunson. However, it's so you could do that with everything, even with comedy. You see comedians, it's like a comic does almost everything wrong, but he's killing until he runs into a real fucking audience, or he has to follow a really good comic, and then all of a sudden it just goes through. And Derek Brunson, sort of a victim of his own talent because he was getting away with it. And, eventually they say your speed is the first thing to go. Well, that's with age. Like with Roy Jones is an example of a guy who was hands down, chin up, but was so fucking talented. He was able to get away with it for so long. Speed goes, and then he runs into Tarver and Glenn Johnson and these other guys.
Calling out Anderson Silva.
Roy Jones, but he did fuck up Bobby Gunn. But Anderson Silva, same thing.
Dude, everybody's trying to get on this hypothetical McGregor-Mayweather undercard. You got Malignani and Cub. Now you want Anderson Silva and Roy Jones. Like, this is going to be the biggest fucking spectacle.
I'll fight Felix Trinidad.
Happens.
You would?
I'd get murdered.
But it's like one of those things where, like with MVP's speed goes, he's going to have a tough time. I mean, he's good because he's young and he's good and he's talented. But when you have your hands down and your chin up, I don't think that's a good recipe for success.
Or if you find out he doesn't have the chin that everybody thinks, and he has his hands down, is goofing off, and he gets knocked.
You think about MVP
out.
though. I was doing research on that guy, and his father was like a 10th degree Dan karate guy. His mother was a fucking like 8th degree. His 3 brothers are all 8th degree. You talk about a family. It's not just luck with this kid. He's legitimately on a different level of skill. However, his last fight was fucking awful. That last fight was brutal.
Oh, with Gonzalez?
Yeah, but this new fight, I think, is going to be good. Who's he fighting?
He's fighting Derek Anderson. I'm so excited for this fight.
That's a good
fight.
fight.
I'm so excited. Derek, I mean, we've had him on the show. Derek's a friend of mine, and, it's almost like one of those situations for Derek where, number one, I know him. I've watched him work. I've watched him train, stuff like that. The guy's really good everywhere. His fight with Sayat Awad that we were at.
Yeah, it was a great
That
fight.
was unbelievable.
Even the last fight, he almost won. He did pretty good
with
against
Derek Campos. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a great fight. He was still in good spirits after. I think on the feet, he's got a good shot. He's got good wrestling. He does train at Alliance, working out with Phil Davis, Dominic Cruz.
Yeah.
He's got good jiu-jitsu. And he's got a hell of a chin. He'll take a fucking beating.
Yeah, but
he has everything.
I worry about the wrestling though. I think it's going to take a really good wrestler.
But he is good off his back.
I want to see how MVP does against a really good wrestler.
I like this fight.
I don't know. Are there good wrestlers at 170 in Bellator? I can't.
Jay.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is like Brennan Ward, who doesn't use his wrestling anymore.
Even so, like he was using his wrestling, and Cyborg hit a fucking
What was Cyborg?
rolling
Paul Daly, you
heel
mean?
hook. No, I'm talking about Brennan Ward.
Oh yeah.
Brennan Ward got a rear waist
Yeah,
lock, and
he's another guy.
Cyborg rolled forward.
These wrestlers, man, like these guys, they come out of the NCAA's. They're all American. They've been wrestling since they were fucking 6 years old, and then all of a sudden they learn how to knock people out, and they just
Forget how to wrestle.
they just don't. It's weird. I'm not weird. I think maybe it's just it's something new. It's the fucking the new toy.
Yep.
But fuck, that's the thing about Kelvin, is that he boxed for a year after college. Like that's all he did was box. And I think that's why his striking is very underrated. You think of him as a wrestler first, but he's got some decent striking. Okay, also on this card, Joe Soto versus Ronnie Yaya.
Honey, yeah.
Oh, Hani Yaya. Any thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, is a good, very good jiu-jitsu player.
Yeah.
Very talented.
So is Soto though.
Soto's a brown belt who's competent on the ground, and he's good on the ground. But when you run into Ronnie Yaha, man, Hani Yaha, who shut Mike Brown down.
Yeah.
Like when Mike.
I remember that fight.
Back when Mike Brown,
like 2011.
WC Mike Brown, like the guy who.
Just after the WC, he had lost to Jose, but Mike, I mean, trying to control Mike is not an easy thing, and that's what Mike does. Mike shuts and hold him down. Brown is Mike's nickname.
That was on the.
I couldn't believe when he beat
on the fight
Faber.
for the
When he beat
troops.
Faber twice, that was I was shocked.
The first one we trained a lot together for that one, and
Did you see that coming?
I imitated Uriah.
Really? You put the butt chin and everything, and like, did you fuck lots of white girls? Go on.
But no, it was we spent a lot of time getting ready for that fight, and I thought Mike was going to win that fight for sure, absolutely,
Against
100%.
No, against Faber.
Oh.
I think he was probably a 5-1 underdog.
Yeah, he was. I mean, as soon as they stopped that fight, I was in the cage before they really before it was really waved off. You know, I was so excited because I knew, I believed Mike was going to win that fight, but the way he did it too, the first one.
By the way, Nick Diaz told me a funny story, right? So these people were like talking shit during the fight, and they looked at Nick Diaz and these guys were like almost apologized for talking shit. And Nick's like, "Nah, don't worry, man." And he tells a story about, he goes, one time I had a fight against Cyborg when he fought Cyborg, and these two guys kept talking shit to him. So after the fight, he said he took his mouthpiece and he threw it at them. And he goes, "Come on, motherfucker!" But he hit their girlfriends with the mouthpiece instead. And then the guys were so like they started yelling at the girl like, "See, shut up! Don't talk to Nick Diaz like that!" Like totally, these guys were like thought Nick was talking. And he's like, "No, it was to the guys." But like what a bunch of pussies! Like you talk all this shit to Nick Diaz, and then you start, "Shut up, babe!" Like, it made me laugh. I gotta go watch that fight just for him telling that story. Ray Borg, Tasmanian Devil, like Ray Borg.
Mexican Devil.
Mexican Devil, even better, against Husier Formiga. Any thoughts on this fight, Yves?
I like Borg, man. I really like Borg in this one. I like how he's aggressive and he's comfortable everywhere, but his jiu-jitsu is really nice. I like watching him play on the ground. Yeah,
the one fight that he lost, which shows you how good the other kid was, but Justin beat him, right? Scoggins beat him.
Scoggins is legit too. There's a kid that was supposed to fight Ian McCall. He was one of those guys that came down to ATT with Scoggins. And those guys, their wrestling is it's weird, but it's really, really good.
Well, Scoggins was a 4-time state champ, I think, in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I think his dad was a karate guy. I mean, he's a dude that just the weight, 125 for a fucking grown man is hard.
He's about as tall as I am.
And unless you're like a little person, like a smaller,
like a Joseph Benavidez,
like a Benavidez,
short, 5'2".
By the way, a good fight that got made is Cejudo versus Pettis.
Sergio Pettis.
Although I mean,
that's 211 as well.
Thank you. Let me speak. I do think that Cejudo's got this. I just think he's too. I think he's a different class. I hate to say it. Maybe in 3 years from now, but at the same time, Cejudo's a fucking weirdo, man. Like, he's just like on a different planet. Remember, he missed weight 5 times in a row, and then he comes and it's like he says things that he's always on some kind of like All-American gold medal wrestling tour. Like you can't even get his real feelings on things. He just says whatever he thinks he's supposed to say.
Yes.
But
hate that guy. Not Cejudo, but the guy that does that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The guy who's not himself. The guy who's pretending for everyone else.
But I think Olympians is different. I think you probably get so much training in of like, here's how you have an interview. Here's what you
Fucking
say.
robot.
Yeah. I mean, how many Olympians have you seen, except for boxers? Olympian boxers.
Ben Askren.
Yeah, Ben Askren. It's a good point. All right. Caitlyn Jenner, that they weren't like, don't transition. So you like Ray Borg in this fight?
No, I got Formiga. I think Houssier is going to be a little bit too much for him. Borg's got good striking, probably better than Houssier, but I think Houssier on the ground is...
Is your breathing okay, by the way? You breathe a lot.
I breathe a lot.
Like you breathe very heavy on the mic. So I'm so wondering, are you okay? Because
I'm fine.
all right, because I can always hear you breathing.
Man,
it's okay.
that I'm fine. The look in response, you guys really need to get your video up because he looked like he was gonna kill you.
He's my he's like my, I wouldn't say brother, but like a nephew. He's like a nephew to me. I always look out for him. By the way, but this
He's like your brother's psycho friend.
yeah, he's like my where are you going? All right. By the way, Gabe, I don't know if you guys know Gabe from the podcast, but so Gabe asked me for a spot at the Dime Bar. So he does a spot at the Dime Bar, and I think you met Gabe. He's a guy. So at the end, it's one of these things where like no good deed goes on. So he's like, hey man, can you give me a ride back to my place? I'm like, no problem. I give him a ride back. So I give him a ride back. It's kind of on the way. I'm halfway home. It's like 1 a.m. He texts me. He calls me. Hey man, I forgot my phone in your car. I'm like, motherfucker, right? So now I turn back, but I kind of forgot where. And he has weed. He offers me weed, but doesn't even share it, right? So now I'm like looking for his thing. I'm looking for where he lives, and he must have run up and down. He lives on a 2-story. He must have run up and down the stairs a couple times because he didn't have his phone on him. He didn't want to wake his family. He lives with his parents. So finally he comes. Right, he comes to the car. I give him the phone. He goes, hold on, and he must have puked 4 times. He goes, oh man, I got no cardio, and hurls all over the street. He did 1 flight of steps, and he hurled like 4 times in the middle of the hell? Oh, it was so funny. And he's like, I got bad cardio. Motherfucker, you don't have cardio. You can't even say cardio. It was. I was laughing, but I was like, are you okay to go to the hospital? At the time, I thought he was really sick, and I realized he was just hurling from going up the stairs, but it was pretty damn funny.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So CB, there used to be a thing of who has worse cardio than you. I think Gabe. I think your cardio.
Cardio's not bad, dude.
Yeah.
My cardio is not bad.
You
It's not
you smoke a pack of cigarettes every day.
I smoke about half a pack a day.
You think that's good for your cardio?
Yeah, that's what it is. What it is.
That's the best answer.
I don't have to run from anyone, so
Nice.
I'm not running up 1 flight of stairs and throwing up. I am fucking dying of heat in here.
When was the last time you ran?
Ran what?
Like a mile?
A mile?
Yeah.
Fuck high school? No.
Nice. All right. Thanks, buddy. All right. That was CB Gold. All right. So also on this card, finally, Hani Jason versus Jeremy Kennedy. No one knows that? Okay.
Honey Jason was on Tough
He's
Brazil.
the guy with the mask, right?
Yeah, the Jason mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. He's been kind of up and down, and then he had a year off because he popped. He got I think he got murdered by Jeremy Stevens, like almost his head taken off.
Yeah.
But I don't know the other guy. I don't know him enough.
He's from Canada. He's undefeated, 9-0. Nickname is JBC. So that's him. He's from Canada. So, and then finally, also, we didn't talk about Shogun.
Volante.
Yeah.
Or Renault and Betch Correa.
Yeah, who do you like in that fight? Shogun or Viante?
I kind of like Volante. I don't necessarily know if Shogun still has. At some point, his chin's going to fail. You know, he still seems like he has a chin, but at some point, that's going to fail. The only problem I have with picking Volante in that fight is Volante takes a lot of shots.
I mean, he must have it. I mean, he must. I like John, but he must have his fight IQ is not the smartest. He doesn't go in there to win.
His fight IQ is like 15. You know, I wouldn't even put it in the 70s.
Yeah, I think like he has worse fight IQ than Gabe has cardio. That's how bad his fight IQ is. It is horrible fight IQ.
Nah, 65. I would say 65.
So Anyway, so what do we got coming?
I got Volante by
You got Volante?
knockout.
You think so?
I think so too, but I mean, he takes too many shots.
He can
man.
get caught. He could definitely get caught.
Yeah.
He's a lot taller than Shogun, though.
All right. Well, listen, that is our podcast today. Eve, what do you have coming up?
I got the Even Steven podcast. Guys, go and check that out. Eve, my name, and my buddies, and the letter N, and Steven with a PH. On this weekend, tune in to FS1. We're doing the weigh-ins tomorrow. It's Friday. And then the fights, the pre- and post-fight show on Saturday on FS1. So I'll be with Michael Bisping and Todd Grisham. We're going to have a good time up there. So yeah,
Nice. Are you going to ask Bisping about GSP and
I'm going to ask him about all kinds of stuff.
all kinds of shit? Yeah. Drunk Bisping's hilarious. He almost got into a fight with Eddie Bravo. at the
Unfortunately,
World Cup.
Drug Bisping won't show up at the studio.
Yeah, I absolutely won't. But it'll be great if he did. Joe the Kid Perez, what do you got?
You can follow me on Twitter at The Ween Dog. It's the same for Instagram. You can subscribe to Ween Dog TV. Upload videos every week. Ween Dog Radio. Upload episodes every week. And it's tremendous.
Now, how's your podcast doing?
It's good. It's turning more into an educational podcast, like a science program where I try to teach these kids a little bit about life.
You're spreading knowledge.
Yeah, like
You're
Well,
teaching
what?
kids?
yeah, like I put some
for the
science into
kids
my
and shit,
podcast.
the kids.
Science. What do you know about science?
I'm very nervous for these children.
What do you know about science? Are you a
Oh,
science?
it's my favorite subject. and
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Do you study it in school?
Yes.
So you take what you learn in school and put it on your podcast?
Pretty much, a little bit here and there.
So, but it started off about you having sex with girls on Tinder and showing your dick and all kinds of stuff. And then you had porn people with dick pills. And now it turned into a science podcast?
yeah, now it's like an educational kids program.
And,
Kids.
and, children,
months, it'll be math.
Yeah, math.
and children are no
calculus.
longer our future.
Ween Dog Radio.
You're out of your fucking mind. CB, what do you got?
Nothing.
Come on, give me something.
What am I supposed to give you?
Where are you going to be this weekend?
Watching the fights?
Where?
Home?
All right. Okay, listen. Tonight I will
I'm
be...
perpetuating the fucking idea that I have no life.
You have some of a life. You go on dates, right?
I don't go on dates. I have one girl.
You have a girl, right?
Yeah.
How long has it been?
6 months.
Are you in love?
I don't know.
All right, ladies.
How do you want me to fucking answer that? Like,
Go lesbian, okay? Girls out there listening, just it's not too late. Just become a fucking lesbian. This is what's out there. All right, so I will be Saturday night. I'm in Pico Rivera at the Iguana Lounge. Sunday, the Laugh Factory in Long Beach. Next Monday and Tuesday, Dime Bar. Actually, Tuesday I'm at the Calgary at the Comedy Cave, then the Comedy Palace in San Diego on the 24th and 25th. And then I will be at Mira Mesa Moose Lodge Saturday, April 1st. I wish Renato was there for that.
yeah.
Then I will be at Myrtle Beach at the Comedy Club, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, April 5th to the 8th, as well as Stanford and Sons in Kansas City, April 13th through the 18th. And then the Looney Bin, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'll see my buddy Gerald Harris, April 26th to April 29th. And then, of course, in May, I'll be at that strip club in Vegas performing with Dean Thomas as well as some other shit. Thank you very much. You can follow me on Instagram at Adam Comedian or at Adam Comedian on Twitter. And yeah, so that's our podcast today. Thank you, Kelvin Gastelum, for tuning in. Thank you for our sponsor, Blue Apron. Blue Apron, guys. Check it out. I'm telling you. Check out this week's menu. You get your first 3 meals free with free shipping. BlueApron.com/MMA roast. You love how good it feels, how good it tastes. You'll be able to create incredible home cooked meals with Blue Apron. And starting soon, we got a new studio, and we actually have video cameras. You can see how good we look. Okay, you can watch CB. You can watch Joe the Kid Perez and his science project. Yves Edwards. Okay, thank you for joining us. We have a real professional here, a guy who knocked out lots of people, knocked out Josh Thompson, knocked out everybody else that you fought somewhere. Okay, listen, that's our podcast. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.